Look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. He's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Richard.
Look at me. We're gonna be okay. You can rest now.
Our new co-host that will be taking Richard's spot on the show is Mr. Emily Music. My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Alcohol. A good Christian boy.
Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. Welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. I am buying a goat. I love goat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Where's the button? I can't find the button here. To Iron Age Night. What's going on, everybody? I don't have a button. My computer is still dead. But just everybody clap. And if everybody claps around the world. Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy 4th of July, a day late because, well, it just didn't show up this year on that day. But that's okay, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely excited for tonight. We don't have a topic, and I kind of love these streams, and I am also half lit. Oh, hi, Vanna. What are you dropping off?
It's delicious, I promise. It's like that one's sibling. It's just as good.
My wife's friend just dropped something off.
It's beer.
Oh, it is beer. Okay, I was like, oh, I hope that's not what you normally drink.
Good delivery.
I like how the second you mentioned you were only half lit, that you had beer, booze immediately delivered to you. Let's get this motherfucker all
But this
the way
is in one
over
of
the
our
top.
1976 cups. So yeah. I declared I was half lit, and it was like booze appeared, and I was like, oh no.
What's that line from Blades of Glory? Are you drunk? Not yet, but this ought to do it.
I've been there before. I've 100% been there before. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights for the 4th of July edition. Hopefully you guys have a good time here. I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight because we have nothing to talk about. So we're going to say hi to the chat real quick, and then we're going to get into the conversations. And I fear what those conversations are. We have a lady wearing America glasses. We have a man wearing an American shirt. We have a man who's possibly autistic, might have Asperger's. We don't know yet. And then we have a man in a green shirt, and you guys can decide which is which. We've got Devil's Hair. What's going on, man? It's good to see you. We got AC Pritchard. What's going on? Evelyn Music. You're on the show. Stop associating with the chat. We got King Bob. What's going on, King Bob? It's good to see you, man. We've got Jersey. We got Bad Sauce down there. Flip City Max. Stop. You're on the show. Don't associate with the chat.
That's right. I'm sorry. I was slumming it. I forgot.
I know. White women like to slum it once in a while. Never mind. That's a bad joke. The problem is, I know you'll make those jokes too, and I'm okay with it. John A. Douglas, you're on the show. Why are you associating with chat? Brian Sanchez, what's going on, good sir? We got Tank Ferret as well. It's good to see you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you know what I forgot to do?
Adjust your camera.
No, I can't help that.
That's how Royce appears. He's always blurry.
Multiple.
That's Royce vision. That's what that is.
No,
That's how
this
he's
is my
kind of
old
viewing
camera.
everything.
This is the old camera.
No, I'm saying we're looking at you through your half-lit eyes right now.
Yeah, no shit. That's actually. Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened to the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Everly Music, Flip City Mag, and John A. Douglas, and I am going to attempt to clean off the camera lens because I know what happened. What's going on, everybody?
Oh, not too much. You
I don't
know,
know who's
celebrating the 4th, doing a little grilling, a little hanging out, listening to some appropriate music. You know, typical 4th of July things.
What do you
I
mean?
shot my
fireworks
book.
music?
I was gonna say, John Douglas, you got us all topped.
I came up with the idea about 2 or 3 months ago because my wife asked me a question. She said, "You think your book could stop a bullet?" And I'm like, well, "That sounds like prime YouTube content right there." Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Not body armor quality, people.
No,
Wow.
definitely
It's
not
very
level
thick,
4
but
rated. But here it is right here. Rags has seen better days. Obviously, that was the self-defense shotgun shell that took him out and obliterated the bar down there. And I was working a lot the last several months up until like a week ago. So I didn't have a whole lot of free time. And every time I had a free day to go out and do this at the only place I could do this, it was raining. So it took me like 2 months long to actually get this one video shot. And then by then it was 90 degrees. And it was a lot more annoying than it actually looked on camera. My wife's not the best, but it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of cameos from other people in the booktube and book writing community, including our own Mr. Daniel P. Riley, who's not here with us. And so it was supposed to coincide with the release of The Black Crown in hardcover, and Amazon fucked me at the last second and said they haven't gone through with it. I'm trying to get it done right now, but the book, hopefully before long, will be able to be available in hardcover because it looks great and the formatting is even better aside from the bullet holes, and the cover looks fantastic. It's actually not as thick.
So when are you doing the so what's the goal to do the giveaway for the bullet hole book?
I figured somebody would ask that question. I don't know.
Did you figure it would be me?
No. Do you want it?
We're not friends anymore.
Okay.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Are you fucking kidding me?
Really. Collector's item right there.
So okay. So our friends show up yesterday morning. I got the smoker going. I'm cooking the lamb leg, and my buddy Nick, he's like, "Dude, I got a gift for you. I'm really excited for it. I've been excited for this for 8 months." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you got me a gift 8 months ago? What the fuck's going on?" So I'm like, "Dude, just wait until I wake up a little bit more," because I had been up at that point for 27 hours by the time they got here. So after them being here for a while, he was really excited. He's like, "Dude, you got to, and they're like, "Royce, just man up and just fucking take the gift." I was like, "All right, fine." So he comes up and he's got this towel in a stick shape. And my brain starts looking at the shape of the towel. And I was like, "That's a sword. And I was like, going up. Okay, the pommel. I was like, wait, it's a rounded pommel. And I was like, this is Theoden's sword from Lord of the Rings. And so I don't even open it yet because he's got tape on it. So I'm starting like feeling around. I'm like, is this Theoden's sword from Lord of the Rings? And he's like, you got to open it. I was like, I didn't even see it yet, dude. Pull it. It's fucking Theoden's sword from Lord of the Rings. And not only is it Theoden's sword from Lord of the Rings, it is a United Cutlery Theoden sword from Lord of the Rings that he found in a fucking pawn shop. He bought it for $80 fucking dollars. This is
Nice.
a $500 fucking sword. And he bought it. And I was like, oh my God. And my wife looks at me and she goes, you got that from the field? I was like, no, I got that from the shape of it when he walked up to me. And she was like, huh? My baby
11
nerd's
minutes
being-
in, and Royce is already talking about his sword.
autism. Gotta love it.
Dude, it's just, I was like, oh, shape of a sword. What has a round pommel? What would he know that I would like? What do we like together? Like, just a multitude of things went through my head, and before he gave it to me, I was like, this is Theoden's. And dude, it's fucking nice as shit. It's gonna get hung up on the wall downstairs in the studio, the proper studio. I was like, oh my God. But that just goes into the whole nerdisms and stuff like that. It just, when you see stuff, you know, you just know. And it was fucking great, dude. And then yesterday, like I said, was a long fucking day. I did a 34-hour day yesterday before I went to sleep.
Is that it?
It was awesome. No, 38. Technically, it would have been 38 hours. I had to cook food. What are you talking about? Oh, is that it? What do you mean? You got to cook food for people, bro. You got to make your guests feel happy. And then my wife made homemade pita bread, and she made a homemade tzatziki, and she sliced up the red onions. Oh, dude. We had gyros yesterday. Oh.
That sounds really good.
With smoked lamb leg that has been smoking for like 11 hours. Oh, it's so good. So good.
Now, do you ever
You guys-
use that sword you got to like in the process? Are you just out there holding it to look cool for the neighbors, or do you use it to like cut things up?
No. I actually took it and set it aside because it was a gift from a friend, and I don't want to break it.
You're not gonna chop up some onions or something with that thing?
No, it's not that kind of sword. That would
It could
mean,
be.
though.
It could be.
I
You
mean,
get something
it-
stuck in your tooth, and you're just using it to get in there.
Well, yeah, but I'd have to hold the pommel with my toes together. Dude, the thing's like 5 foot long. Oh, yeah. So anyway, hey, how is everybody doing? So a couple of people on the panel I haven't seen in a while, Flip City and John A. Douglas. How are you two doing? You just pick one. Whoever wants to go first.
I'm
Ladies
good.
first.
Hey, I just keep thinking about how sad of the story of the Lord of the Rings fan turned fentanyl addict that had to pawn his awesome $500 sword for $20 just for that little taste. So
Yeah,
like,
but
now I'm kind of
I got it for free, and my buddy paid $80. I'm okay with this.
I'd still feel bad. I'm happy to be here celebrating America weekend with you guys. I'm about one of the most patriotic people you can find. There is absolutely nothing wrong with America. Our government
no,
sucks,
you're wrong.
but
You're wrong, but
What?
that's fine. The politicians.
tell me what's wrong with the. Oh no, that's the government. That's not America.
Yeah,
And that's everywhere.
Oh,
That's
okay,
it.
okay. So okay. So we're gonna separate the government from America. America, you are
America
in
is the
fact,
people.
Yes, you are in fact correct. America is fucking awesome. The government. I'm not
And I'm
allowed
trying to get
say.
half lit as quickly as I can. I made myself a nice
Dude.
pina colada.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
You're trying to
Yeah.
get half lit. Oh, great. She'll catch up to me by tomorrow. Oh, God. Dude, that was
Oh, and I
the
have to
first-
say, nice to meet you, John. I haven't met you before.
Nice to meet you too. I didn't know who you were either until you popped up on Royce's show, and I try and follow as many, independent creators as I can. Got one foot in the books and one foot in the comics, and admittedly, one is a little more rancid than the other these days, though. Especially mostly on the indie comic side, but there's a lot of good folks that are just more interested in creating the indie comics and not necessarily the internet blood sports that's been going along with them lately.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I won't bring up all that over here. Even though, Royce, I ain't gonna lie, the other day I was sitting there watching, like, is that
Wow.
was that me?
Maybe. What did you do?
Maybe that's the internet gods not wanting me to bring internet blood sports onto your show.
Why are you gay? Okay, so fucking never do that for the love of. Dude, do you have any idea what that does to a microphone cone? Don't. You activated my soundism. Okay, so when you have a microphone and it's not working, generally it's not the microphone. It's usually the cord that goes to the microphone. If you tap on the microphone, and I'm tapping very lightly because this is you're gonna break the windscreen, and then the cone breaks inside. The microphone cone cracks inside, and then it turns into horrible audio. Never, ever tap on a microphone.
This has metal on it, though. I don't think that would break.
Yeah, and how else would you know if it's on if you can't tap it?
Yeah. That's how I test mine too. I tap it.
That's not
with all my fingers, just smack on it a few times.
As long as we're not like punching it.
Hey, you work?
No. Emily, fuck you. You're a musician. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, and you're just playing into this.
Nah, I'm learning.
Oh, yeah, learning. Oh, dude, a blown fucking microphone. Like,
I've now found a new way to annoy Royce. This is great.
No, I don't know. That sound doesn't bother me. I don't care about the sound. Just for the love of God, treat your electronic equipment that you paid for with your monies, with respect. Somebody's going to smash a TV tomorrow and be like, hey, Royce, what about this? And I'm just going to be like, I'm going to have to fly to a random state somewhere, and I'm going to have to beat one of my subscribers' ass with a belt for destroying a TV just because they heard this.
That'd be pretty funny. Just make sure to film it while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Action. 100%. There's no version of this where it doesn't get filmed. I'm not going to film what happens afterwards because I'm going to probably get my ass beat. But, oh, God. So, all right. Again, this is a panel stream, and I don't see anybody else who has joined yet. We sent the invite out to quite a few people.
Yeah, we had one person, but their connection was not good enough because they are on the road.
Oh. I know who that person is. They're old as fuck, and it's called The Hedge.
I misnamed him too whenever I was trying to say. I'm like, yeah, HP said he's interested, and Royce,
dude,
like,
he sends me this thing. He's like, hey, HP wants a link, and I was like, who the fuck is HP?
Herman.
And then he's like, oh no, it's Herman. I'm like, oh, you mean The Hedge? He's like, yeah. I'm like, don't. So, being that it's this show, it's the panel stream, I have no topic for tonight. What's the topic for tonight? I will let our guests decide.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure for a guest.
Oh, it's not any topic. I don't care. Pick a topic.
Oh, I can talk. I could talk about myself and Flip City Magazine all night, but I'm sure that's not what your audience wants. So,
is that what we want to do? I don't care.
No. John, come on.
I gotta tell you, I'm a little more blank than usual. I won't lie. Friday evening's a little more of a low energy for me because my body is trying to shut down and get ready for my 16-hour shifts on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's trying to tell me go to bed, and I'm like, no. I got to stay up, and I got to take advantage of this time that I have. I've been working on videos all this week to review my latest book review, which is running a little behind. And I got comic reviews and stuff that I'm trying to set up for next week because I was working a whole bunch and now I've got a little more time to work on that stuff. And then 4th of July, like I just kind of slummed it out and I sat back and I put Kino Casino in my ear and I was playing the Mad Max video game for the PS4 for like hours. And I loved
nice. That's a good one.
Oh, yes. It is so underrated of a game.
Oh, yeah.
The story is kind of forgettable and a little it's garbo. Like there's nothing really going on there.
It's not what they're here for, you know.
The aesthetic, the art design, the car combat, all top notch. It does suffer a little from that Ubisoft open world, take care of this, that, and the other. A few collectibles here and there, and by the time you're done with like halfway through the game, you're starting to feel like, oh, this half-assed Arkham battle system is getting a little old because I'm almost halfway through the game and like I'm all the way leveled up with Max.
Yeah,
and like there's not a whole lot left to unlock other than to just go around the next part of the map, but there is nothing that is more satisfying than driving through the wasteland and firing your harpoon at an enemy car and pulling its wheel off so that it can't follow you anymore.
Yeah.
And I really think it would have been a lot more, this game probably would have been a lot more iconic if it had tied more into the aesthetic of the Fury Road and Furiosa aesthetic and the world and the setting they had set up, especially with like the war boy culture and all that.
Oh yeah.
This game was in development at the same time as the movie, but it didn't have any relation to the movie. And the developers were not allowed to look at anything from the movie until just before I think the movie came out.
Oh, dang.
So like the stuff that does tie into Fury Road, there's a couple of enemies that they're listed as war boys, war rigs. The final area is Gas Town. And you can kind of tell it was like tacked on at the last second. Because if they had leaned more into that aesthetic, it would have been so much cooler. But it's still cool on its own.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was awesome. The car combat in it, like you were saying, it was more fun than even some of the best Twisted Metal games, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. I had a lot of fun with that one. And there's a whole lot of people that enjoy Mad Max, play games, never gave it a chance.
No, yeah. It kind of went under the radar. And it's good. The beginning is just a touch slow. You're about a half an hour or so. You've got to learn controls and then get to the actual, before you actually set loose into the open world of that game.
Right.
But it's been a favorite of mine, and I never finished it beforehand. I kind of lost interest, moved on to something else, and now it's I got real nostalgic for it, and I went back. Nostalgia. And I know it's not that old, but like I was thinking about it going, oh, that game was fun. And so I went back and now I'm just like, all right, I'm going to plow through this because I haven't really played a whole lot of games lately. Not in the last couple of years.
Hard to find the time. Isn't that one from 2014 though? It's got to be pushing decades,
2015. Right? Yeah, it's at least 10 years old.
Yeah, we'll count that as old.
Well, 10 years old.
There are. So you talk about old games. We had one of my son's friends sleep over about a month or so back, and they were like, "Dad, can we play the Switch?" And I was like, "No, you're not going to play the Switch. But what you can do is you guys can take turns, and Daddy will let you play his OG Xbox, and you guys can try to play Need for Speed Underground, the first one." They couldn't make it past the fucking tutorial.
The tutorial's tough, man.
Dude, it's like, here's the thing. As an adult, I have not beat that game yet. I beat it 3 times when I was a kid in a summer when I had time. And I still went outside and played tackle football in my friends' yards and stuff like that. But as an adult, I'm like, fuck, this is pretty hard. But the kids are just like, but what I do is I give them 3 tries. They still can't beat the games that I had when I was a kid.
I was more of a Burnout man myself.
Yes,
I
dude.
loved
I
Burnout
couldn't get
3.
into Burnout.
Yeah, that was a great one. Awesome soundtrack there too.
I did
Dude, one
not
of my
make the
favorite-
transition to Burnout Revenge all that well because the physics were just slightly different enough that it actually threw me off, and I was catching corners that I wouldn't have caught in Burnout 3. But man, that was nothing more satisfying than doing the crash mode and ramming dudes off the road. It was great.
Yes,
Dude, one of my favorite racing games was Project Gotham. Project Gotham Racing back in the day was fucking incredible. Love that game.
I could never get into the ones that were too simulation based. My little brother loved
That one-
those. He
yeah,
played like
it
Gran
was-
Turismo nonstop. I'm more
God,
like John. I like
hated
the
Gran-
Burnout
I
games.
hated
Yeah,
Gran
arcadey
Turismo.
stuff was always my jam.
Yeah.
No, I do
Crash
like
things.
a lot of arcadey stuff, and Project Gotham kind of towed the line. But dude, it was fucking great. But that being said, this was at the time when I was playing like Halo 2 and Knights of the Old Republic, and Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Fable and all those games. So I had my mix of games that I loved to play for sure. How about you, Christy from Flip City?
About
What did-
games?
Yeah. What games were the games that tickled your fancy?
I was never much of a gamer, except for my daughter got me into Skyrim, and I love
Oh
it.
hell yeah. Yes.
So
Oh,
I've played Skyrim,
That's
and
always the game. My buddy got his mom into Skyrim.
I know.
That's-
I'm like,
that's
I am the mom.
surprising.
I'm so the mom. And I'm like,
You-
yeah, I've heard of those games before, but I don't know how to relate. So
Dude,
yeah.
as much as I
when,
love
when it
Fallout
turns to
and
game talk,
fantasy,
I'm like, if you guys want to talk about Skyrim, I'll talk about that.
for as much as I love fantasy and ended up later loving Fallout, I never touched Skyrim, and I feel so dumb
man.
for not having done
What?
that.
What's so funny is it's
Well, because everybody's
game
played it.
series. The game series is called Elder Scrolls, and when the subtitle becomes the thing that everybody talks about, you know that you have created a great game and a shit series. Because nobody else knows a single title to the rest of the Elder Scrolls games.
I think I remember Oblivion,
Yeah.
and the only thing I knew about Oblivion was that Toonami shat on it.
What?
They used to do like occasional game reviews in between shows, and they brought up Oblivion, and they were talking about Tom was talking about how boring it kind of was because you had so much distance between pieces. And I just thought to myself at the time, okay, this sounds boring. I don't want to play it.
Hail, what up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hi, Basie Pritchard. How you doing, Michael Harris?
I got my America flag on.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Got my Volcom flag.
Nice.
There you go.
How are you
John
doing?
oh, sorry. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Yeah.
How's it going, AC?
Michael, Richard,
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just got off another stream. I was over
I was
at
gonna say, man, you're everywhere lately. You're making the rounds.
Yeah. I'm like yeah. Anyway, I'm like a flying Viking longship filled with orcs, just traveling the world. You know.
I don't understand. What is that
Nice.
in reference to? It seems
Yeah.
so specific.
I'm
but
trying to get on more streams now that I actually have time.
Nice. Yeah, that's the hard part. You got to get out and make the rounds, but it's hard to find the time. And then, of course, you got the time zone differences and all that. That makes it tricky at times. But good to see you guys. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I
Being
had to
here in
skip
China
from it a
makes the
little bit.
time zones not quite so easy.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
Is it? What exact time is it over there right now?
It's
9:30 here.
9:29 in the morning.
Oh, okay. That's all right. A little morning stream action. It's a good deal.
Yeah, basically all your evening streams are like morning streams for me.
Gotcha. And so you're living in the future then. So it's a whole
Yeah.
different day out there, right?
Yep.
It's the
It's Saturday.
status on flying cars and jetpacks. We there yet?
Almost.
Almost. There's signs. There's signs you can see in the streets. We're not there.
Yeah.
We're getting close. Good deal.
The flying cars, that happened in the 80s, but they never took off.
Excellent.
Anybody else remember in the 80s when after Back to the Future 2 came out that there was this rumor that people swore up and down that they had actually invented that and they actually existed. You just couldn't buy them yet. And that perpetuated for years. And I remember I never saw one or heard anything else about it besides that rumor.
Are you talking about the hoverboards?
Yeah, the hoverboard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things were sick. And yeah, I can't remember the details of those stories, but you jogged that memory loose in my head, and I do remember hearing about that. Might even been in the old like gaming magazines and stuff, articles about that. Like Sasquatch, there's a blurry picture of a guy riding one in the street somewhere. Like, is that real? Somebody's got one.
Sasquatch talk. Yeah.
Elon, like age 12, he had one, and it was real.
I'm still waiting for my Sasquatch steak from Douglas, and I think we should all go Sasquatch hunting in the Chinese mountains with Michael Harris.
Well, if you want a Sasquatch, there's one that streams every Monday on YouTube. Our good friend Cannoli Sasquatch over there. He mostly talks about movies.
That's a great name.
He's an Italian Sasquatch, right?
Yeah, he's Italian.
So all you have to be is a hairy man.
I guess so.
I feel like
the funny thing is, I found him and I
started
started. Whenever I started talking to him in his chat, like every time I referred to him, I would call him something completely different, and it was always like food and thing. And he's gotten a tickle out of it ever since. My favorite wrong name to call him was Satsuma. What was it? Satsuma Summer Squash.
Summer Squash.
I don't remember it. I don't know. Yeah, that's too much. I don't remember all that.
It's weird.
Wait, sumo summer.
Talking about
Satsuma Summer Squash.
Like
okay, now I hear it. I'd sound like a Biden-ism for a second.
I'm not there yet, but give it a little time. I'm not far behind. I ain't gonna lie.
With the way
it's funny talking about Sasquatch. I am. Oh, go ahead.
With the fake food videos I've been seeing all over TikTok, man, I think we're all going to be doing Bidenisms here in the next 5 years over in America, if it's real.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You haven't seen the fake cantaloupes and like
the rubber
the
food.
Yeah, the bendy bananas and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I seen something about the watermelon that was kind of bendy.
Yup, that stuff. Yeah.
What was up with that?
We'll all be doing Bidenisms. Don't worry, it'll be fine, and we'll understand each other. That'll be the craziest thing because the neural.
Has anybody here like gotten a fake fruit? Because I am on the lookout for that since seeing it. But
I'm pretty sure
I don't know if
that's
that
a psyop
exists.
by where I live.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Mission accomplished. Tell the boys tomorrow at the water cooler, like, we got him. It worked.
Yep.
You dogs.
I'll be like, CCP buds, you got it. Good job.
or Michael, or do they want us to think it's a psyop so that we go ahead and eat it anyway, right? Like, nobody knows what to think anymore. It's so crazy. Like, so just accept the Bidenisms. Like, who cares? God bless America.
It's just helping us prepare for a future where all our kids are made of mostly microplastics.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like the fish right now and the birds. There's birds that like will die from it on like tropical islands, and you can go and see all the skeletons and stuff, and like right in the skeleton it's just like filled with plastic. You can just clearly tell what killed this bird. Yeah. Because like the creatures aren't going to eat the plastic when it's like rotting and stuff. But
no, you got to have fresh plastic,
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the fish too. The fish, it's like
farm grade quality, like Grandpa used to make.
Yes, a good old classic American plastic.
That's right.
That shit that don't break down.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah, oil-based, petroleum-based plastic.
Speaking of cantankerous boomers, did anyone see that TikTok short of the old HOA boomer getting in the face of like a 13-year-old kid that was fishing in their neighborhood?
Yes,
I did. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, when I was growing up, what did we hear when we were growing up? Use your manners, say please and thank you. And what is, kids sit inside all day and they stay on their tablets too much and play them video games. And what do they do to this kid that's outside fishing and minding, kind of minding his own business, march out there with that old man yells at cloud, get off my lawn mentality, get out of here, and grabs his $200 pole and breaks it out of his hands. And I'm just sitting there going, bruh, was that really necessary? Didn't you teach us to use manners growing up? Didn't you teach us, say that, oh, the young punks are disrespectful? Where's your respect? Because I got to tell you, if I looked up and that was my kid that someone was doing that to, I'd have gone up. He was wearing a shirt that said Tennessee Strong, but his knees didn't look Tennessee Strong. Just one good swift sidekick probably would have taken care of that boomer. Now, granted, and devil's advocate on his side, supposedly they were on like his property in his neighborhood, and somewhat, but like, what's the harm in going, hey guys, you're not supposed to fish here. This is kind of, a private property. If you could, move along, please. Or
it's because he actually just sold his collector's Lord of the Rings sword, and he was grumpy from that interaction. Took it out on those poor kids. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, no, my only question about that is what led up to it, because the only thing I saw was the actual confrontation. I have no idea if the kids were being disrespectful forever, because they're basically talking about, we're waiting for the cops to be, to get here, blah blah blah. So, I take it with a grain of salt. I didn't like what I saw, but who knows what the kids did, for the 15, 20, 30 minutes prior to that. Because they could have been disrespectful pricks until they started filming. Who knows?
But at the same time, you're a grown man. That's a 13-year-old kid.
Yep.
And there's a very clear indication of threat where he bowed up at him and did like that, and the kid was flinching. Like that picture alone can get you charged with
assault.
something. And it's just boomers are not always all that smart, and the entitlement just kind of pisses me off. Like, it's not like the kid's out there damaging things. He's fishing.
I think,
right.
I think if the clip is it can be, if the clip can be taken at good faith, then what we're seeing is a classic case of antisocial behavior, probably caused from the recent years living on Earth, particularly in the Western world. I don't know if that was an American. I think it was, right? So he probably is just online a lot and does a lot of fishing himself, or works really hard or whatever, and is probably having a bad day at the same time. Decided to act antisocial towards some kids. Not a good idea. Not a good look, even if they were being brats.
That ended up leading me down like a rabbit hole. There's an inordinate amount of Karens getting so pissed off at people fishing, whether it's on private property or not. Just they see someone fishing near where they live and they just got to
oh
that was good. And it's still going. Business is about to pick up, ladies and gentlemen. The Pritchards are going at it. The heel turn.
Oh jeez.
Who wasn't watching that when it happened?
I missed it. I was looking at the chat. I turned back and it was just chaos. I was like, what did he read in the chat that's so funny? I missed all of it.
She spilt my drink on my computer, so stand by, everybody.
Oh,
this has my book on it. We can't let it die.
By the way, it's not my fault. You're supposed to be in the chair with wheels.
It's all your fault, AC.
I cannot. Yeah.
Prolonged shot of his junk.
I'm like, why won't you move?
It's tough with some of those videos because I've seen too many of them where people set it up because they want something to happen, or
you can tell they're set up. But some of them, when I know when they're real is when the Karen comes up and starts screaming for no reason. Like, that's not fake. Like that is the screech of entitlement.
Did you see the one where there's the guy, he was trying to troll the one gym dude? He's like this huge guy at the gym.
Oh,
and the streamer takes his hat. He's like, give my hat back, and just smacks him. I was like, jeez. And the kid's like, oh.
Oh, I think that wait, was that Joey Swall? That was somebody else, I think.
I don't know the names. I was like, that was probably real, but it probably also still got that kid a ton of clicks. So it's the kind of thing you put yourself in this situation. It's like no matter what direction it goes, it's probably going to get you some traction. So I think they're willing to take those risks because I've seen some people that will just go outside of sporting events whenever it's rival teams playing. And whatever city they're in, they'll wear full gear of the rival team and then just talk trash and hit on people's girls as they're walking by, just trying to stir things up to get people to lose their mind. And then filming that is what the kid posts to make his money. And I don't know, people find it entertaining or whatever, and I can't stand that stuff whenever it's fake like that. And I'm like, come on, guys, do better. Do better.
Yeah, it's the state of our culture. You know,
Yeah.
let's make the most terrible quote unquote content for clicks, and they get rich off it. So
yeah, and then people see that and they want to copycat it because, I mean,
Work for
if
them.
there's success there, yeah, and fame and everything, and you can have a laugh while you're at it.
Rage bait.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think that some of them are underestimating that a lot of the people that they're provoking are really just want to be left alone in public.
yeah.
And so, you know, they end up doing that to the wrong person. We've already had a prankster get shot
Oh,
from that
geez.
kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. You didn't see that one?
Oh yeah.
No.
It was from
I saw
late
that one.
last year, I think, pranking people in the mall and went up to this dude and he was going, dude, it's a prank. It's a prank. I'm talking. He pulled out the gun. Leave me alone. Get away from me. Get away from me. Popped him in the stomach. Because the guy kept coming coming at him saying he might be saying it's a prank, but he didn't stop advancing. This is wild. This is everything but normalcy is going on in the Pritchard camera.
Funny enough, that's called a Dutch angle, right? When things are going wrong, they're going sideways. The camera literally goes sideways, right?
You got your own angle now, Arthur. Mangoes, Arthur. I love that game. I should probably go back and play that one too.
Wait,
God,
which one
there's
was
so
that
much
from?
to do in that game.
Which game?
Red Dead 2.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. I was expecting the accent. I didn't hear it. Come on, Arthur. Just a little bit more money, Arthur.
I think one of my favorite uploads about that game was when they were having a conversation basically while the camera was automatically watching them, ride horses. And Dutch was telling him, come on, Arthur, you got to have some goddamn faith. And as soon as he said that, the computer AI plowed Dutch head first into an oncoming wagon.
That's
Have
awesome.
some goddamn faith. Pow! Took him out. And of course, whatever the mission was failed, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I love it. I know some people get irritated with like glitches in video games or,
Oh, no, I love them.
things like that. They are hilarious to me.
Yep. I'm with you. As long as it doesn't break the game, I'm down for it. And the weirder they are, the happier I am, generally speaking.
Can I tell you about the most insane, hilarious glitch that I ever encountered in my life? And I was talking to a friend when this happened. It was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I had one of those old school Game Sharks, right? And I had several codes turned on. I don't know what it was that caused it to do this, but I was able to replicate this glitch several times. So I was at the airfield in the desert, right? And I walked up to the Apache helicopter, and you could hear the engine starting up, but the blades weren't turning. And when it reached that velocity where you could lift off, the helicopter stayed there, but CJ lifted up out of the helicopter into the air in the sitting position like he was steering it. Okay. And then he goes up, and once they reached a certain height, he would do this thing where still in the sitting position, he would bounce and start juking up and down faster and faster on the screen. Then all of a sudden he would T-pose and spin around like a blade with his arms getting longer and longer. And when they reached the width of the screen would go white. And he would reappear at the bottom of Area 51 next to the jetpack. I'm like, the first time I saw this, I was dying laughing. My friend was on the other end of the phone going, what the fuck are you going on, dude? And I told him about it, and he started laughing, and I replicated it. I never got it on film because this was long in the past.
Sure.
But that was such a hilarious glitch to behold, and the more I did it, the funnier it got.
Yeah, whenever I was a kid, me and my buddies, we'd rent a game or we'd have a couple, and you're kids, got a lot of games and stuff you do one for your birthday or Christmas or whatever. And my one friend had Game Genie, and we found out that Game Genie, you put in the codes that come with the manual, and it does X, Y, or Z. But if you just go in there and just start firing in random characters, sometimes you get some really bizarre glitches that mess with the music in the game. Or we put one in Contra one time. It was like pizza, and all the guys look like explosions running around. That was pretty fun. And sometimes in the newer games, you don't get stuff that wild too often. I think they do a better job with QA and all of that.
Yeah.
But my wife and I
still comes through the cracks, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And whenever it happens, I'm like, yes, I like getting in there before the patches and all that if I can. But
I mean, Skyrim was famous for some of its glitches, and
yeah,
man, I've
sure.
seen some stuff that is just hilarious to behold.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, you can watch. I mean, there's days worth of endless content to watch on there of all the glitches and stuff just in Skyrim alone. But my wife and I were playing Elden Ring, I guess last year whenever it came out or whatever. And I'm pretty good at games, but I don't have the time in the day to, as the kids say, get good. Like if there was an easy mode in that game, I'd pay for it just so I could have, get through it. So any boss we can cheese to get through. Yes, absolutely. I don't got time for it, man. I got too many things going on. I want to sit down. I have enough challenges in life. I want games to be relaxing and enjoyable. Give me a story. Let me beat up some bad guys. You can hurt me. I don't got to be invincible, but if I have a little bit of skills, I'm hoping I can win or maybe die once or twice. That game's cheap. In any case, there was these things, I think they're called bloody fingers. You like summon these warriors from another realm, and you're just walking around, you're like picking up items, just enjoying the scenery, and these guys show up and try to kill you. And there was one that kept killing me over and over. I haven't thrown a controller in a very long time, especially now. They're so expensive. But this guy kept killing me. I'm getting frustrated. I'm swearing and all this. She's like, well, do you just want to wait and we'll try again tomorrow? I was like, oh, one more chance. So I try again. I was like, I'm going to go run behind this bush. And I stand there and I'm waiting for him to come around the corner. And he just goes running right off the cliff. And it's like, enemy defeated. I was like, yes, I got him. The glitches like that, I love. That worked out really well. I might have quit that game if that didn't happen, but.
Oh, Christy's getting something.
Ooh. Also, guys, sorry about that disruption.
Never mind. She's putting a B right back.
Oh, okay. I can't read what it says on my screen's too.
That was a pretty fun disruption.
Yeah, did you hear me say that my energy drink spilled all over my laptop?
We heard that, and then it went mute again.
Yeah. I was like, no, my book is on here, dude. I cannot
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that cannot. Everything else aside, like that.
You don't have it on a cloud or on an external?
It's on a cloud. It's on
okay.
a cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, but just still, I don't know. I don't know if an updated one's on there right now. Stuff like that. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So, woo! I'm awake. I'm awake.
Nice. I like all the video game talk. I'm a big. Well, I don't game as much as I used to, but there was a time that I used to game a lot. So I love talking about this. Doesn't come up too often on the stream, but I think we've got a lot of gamers in the chat too. So it's
Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Am I right?
I think the last time I gamed was almost 10 years ago.
Maybe but that's the last time gaming was really good, though.
Yeah,
so
like 11 years ago, and it was what's it called? The Elden Scrolls game.
Oh yeah,
Skyrim.
Elden Scrolls.
Nice.
That was the last game I really played at all. Before that, though, I've never been much of a gamer. For me, it was all classic PS1 games and things like that.
Nice. I feel like if you're going to go out on a game,
my favorite. Have any of you guys heard of? Have any of you guys heard of the Front Mission series?
Yes,
I've heard of it.
It's mechs,
never
right?
Played it.
Yeah, Front Mission 3 was my favorite game ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
turn-based. Mine was
mech
Mass Effect
RPG.
Oh, Christy, my wife is a huge Skyrim fan, by the way. And she's repping Argonians in the chat. So,
good.
Yep. Shout out to
I should
Argonians.
pull up the chat.
My wife. is a funny little gamer. Like she will go years and not play anything, and then become hyper obsessed with some random title for some unknown reason. If she hasn't played a game maybe 2-3 years, our son found Power Washer Simulator.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a good
And
one.
she has been playing this for like a month straight.
It's
my
good.
brother,
It's
my
good,
brother
man.
plays Farming Simulator. That is
Yes, dude.
that's all I
Yeah,
wanted to
that's
say.
another good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something satisfying about it. You know exactly what you need to do, and you just sit down and you just.
I play Roller Coaster
painting or
Tycoon, so I can't even knock it. You know, I love simulators. In fact, one of my favorite games is RimWorld, which was built out. I think that was made from a very simple social military simulator, is how it started off as.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, I think one dude ran away with that idea. So that's how you can get like cirrhosis of the liver and a fascination with corpses and like your left index finger blown off or just crushed or bitten off or whatever. It's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy. The nuances there.
Well, that's like I've never played Flight Simulator, but that seems like I don't know. It seems like that'd be a really cool game. I feel like if you had the whole setup too, like the did everybody all have that one friend whenever you're growing up that had like all of the gadgets for their PC? They had the controls, and if they're playing front mission, they'd have like the mech seat with like screens on and all of that. I feel like you had that kind of setup.
Mech Warrior Online, and he had like the double controllers to make it seem like he was.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I was
Yes.
sitting there watching him.
Nice.
I have been a console player all my life, so PC was always very intimidating and didn't have a whole lot of appeal. Also, I was poor and didn't have a whole lot of money for a gaming PC, so I was sitting there, at like 17, trying to figure out what in the hell he's doing. He's like, "Our clan's invading and we're fighting back," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? How the hell does that work?" I didn't have a whole big understanding of it at the time, but
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's like I had friends growing up, and I had never heard of online gaming because we didn't have the internet. But there was that one kid whose dad was, doing like IT for the government or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm like playing with a kid. He's in like a different country." I'm like, "You're making up stuff. You think he's a liar, and you can't prove him." Like, what game is this? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just ahead of the curve. But those kind of games, I feel like would be a lot of fun. It's almost like it's like the arcades. Did you guys go to the arcades whenever you're growing up too?
oh yes,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. You get on like the was it motocross GP or whatever with the bike and that kind of stuff.
Oh, what about the speedboat ones? The flying ones were pretty cool at the arcade
Yes.
too.
Or even
but,
like the
nothing beats the shooting ones at the arcade though.
I was
yeah,
just gonna say that.
Rail
I was just
shooters
gonna say
are
that.
great.
Yeah, dude. The
Mhm.
Jurassic Park one, fantastic.
My kid's dentist has a playroom and it has that game in there, and it was set on free play, and I'm like, this is great. I get to sit with the kids and shoot dinosaurs for as long as it takes for my son to get his cavity pulled out, and he's in the back having a horrible time, and we're up here just having fun blasting dinosaurs.
That's awesome. Hey, what's up, little Harris?
That's
Okay,
a
do you wanna
tiny
blast
hair.
dinosaurs?
Cutie.
Oh,
Cute.
Okay, say hi.
Oh, by the way,
Good
my
job.
son was over here when my wife was kidnapping me, and she was over here. She felt so bad after she spilled the drink. God bless her. But she was like helping clean that up, and then he just walks over and starts pushing her away. Like, no, you've done enough. You've done enough.
the best part about having kids and being a gamer is that you've always got players 2, 3, and 4 lined up to help you out. Like, it's every now and then I'll just tell the kid, look, it's a night for Smash Brothers, and we will play Smash Brothers for hours, and it doesn't matter who wins, who loses, we just have fun. Same thing with Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And now my son is 17 and he's ultra competitive, and sometimes he can win, sometimes he can lose. It just depends, but that's always great growing up. Like, I never minded my kids playing games with me growing up.
Yeah, that's you.
I look forward to it, John. In fact, like tabletop, especially when I'm really interacting with them.
Oh yeah. Once my son learned how, that reminds me, it's been too long since I played with him. I gotta get another home game set up because I've been too busy to do all that stuff. We've been wanting to kind of craft a Mario campaign that has like 5e mechanics.
That's cool.
And
That's the
hopefully
good thing. That's the good thing about 5e that people can't really knock at the end of the day is it is universal. And so like that's going to have its flaws. Like, yeah, it isn't the best. Those other criticisms are justified, but at the same time, you won't find very many others except for maybe the D6 system.
Yeah, it's very modular. We've run campaign. My son ran an Undertale campaign about a year or so ago. That was a lot of fun. He's sitting there doing all the voices and everything. It's a great home game. I wish I could get my wife to want to play it, but of all the nerd things that she has been into and gotten into over the time we've been married, that's the thing that's just one step too nerdy for her. And I don't know why, but I still love her.
Yeah. That's really cool that your kids play the same games as you, though. I have a couple buddies of mine, and their kids, they only play Roblox, I think, and Geometry Dash or something. And it's like there might be a couple other ones, but basically the kids are like, sorry, Dad, your games are old people games, and I'm just playing these things with my friends, and this is like a no dad zone. I'm like, it sucks. So.
Yeah, mine have gotten into because my oldest son is more of a PC gamer. He loves like indie games and pixelated boomer shooters and things like that. He grew up on Left 4 Dead, but lately he downloaded Gmod, which he always wanted when we were younger. We never had a really good PC for that. They have been loving Gmod and just throwing up mods all over the place and manipulating ragdoll physics. That has been more fun to them than anything. That's the thing about kids. They really like stuff where they are not really given rules and can kind of, go, create a play space where their imagination is, the only limitation. And, Gmod kind of facilitates that a little bit. They love the open sandbox. There's no fail state. There's no rules. They can kind of just do whatever they want. And, I imagine to a kid that feels very freeing.
Oh yeah,
because most kids, their whole life is rules. They go to bed, go to school. You got to do homework. You got to eat, and they don't always have a whole lot of agency. So,
oh yeah,
I understand the appeal. It's like I understand the appeal for Minecraft. I probably would have liked it if I was younger and had the time. I don't though.
Yep, I was just going to bring up Minecraft. That it is still really popular with young kids. Even when did that come out? Like 2011 or something? It's been around.
It's been around.
It's been around for a little while, and it's still really popular. And I think it's to your point. Whenever we were kids, maybe we had some Legos or some was it Playmobil? There's like a knockoff Lego company. I can't remember the name of it, but we had that. Or we go out in the sandbox, or just go get some sticks and tie them together and do that. And so I understand why Minecraft, and it's cool too because it does teach the kids a little bit about how do you make things and what do you need to make glass and what do you need to make a oven. And it's very primitive, but it still gives you some semblance of an idea of how these things work.
It's giving you the right rewards too, even though there's an element of gambling to it with like the random chance. Like I don't know if you guys have seen any Minecraft speedrunning videos, but it very much is like, they are just kind of like gambling. Like, let's just dig this particular way in this repetitive pattern until we hit diamonds. Oh, we got diamonds. Let's go to the next level. You know what I mean? So, but aside from the random chance with mechanic, which you can argue is gambling in anything with random chance, but when you get past that, it is giving them everything else is the right kind of rewards, right? I worked hard to build my house. I gathered this much of this resource and I don't know, pragmatically rationed it, right? For whatever other reason. So, or like I explored and found a village and traded with them, stuff like that. Dude.
That's what I was gonna say. Because even if it's a random chance, it still gives you an opportunity to be like, oh, it wasn't there. Let's try again. Let's go that way. Like
you need to fail. Yeah. The try-fail cycle.
But isn't that how mining works actually?
Yes,
to like mine.
It is.
I was watching a fascinating reality show about opal miners because I love opal last night and learned a lot about mining. And it's very much I guess, like AC said, it is somewhat gambling, but I don't know if Minecraft there is a way to test ground like they do in actual mining or anything.
Yeah.
But
you strip mine
like that.
You strip mine in the same way. It's crazy. Yeah. But I mean, it's only gambling because it's a game. In real life, real mining, that's gambling too, right?
Yeah.
In fact, our brains are actually wired to seek that out. Like I don't know, it's why people go nuts and why boredom exists in certain contexts, because we are looking for that problem to solve. We get extreme amounts of dopamine while we're attempting to solve it, and that includes the cortisol that gets fired off when we fail at solving it on the way to inevitably solving it. But that the final time that you solve that problem, it's just like explosion of dopamine in your head. That's why we feel like euphoric. We're like, I did the thing. I completed the dishes or whatever.
That makes you feel euphoric.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's done. The task is done. It's more like problem solving, though.
I thought you wake up like dishes. They're clean. Like you have to put them away.
I cured. I figured out world peace. You know, that would probably make somebody euphoric. Like, oh, you know, like I changed the world. You know what I mean? Like solving a problem. Yeah.
So what's everyone reading lately?
Oh man,
I've been reading Jisadai by Daniel P. Riley.
Oh, nice.
New campaign live right now, right? Right.
Yeah. He's got a comic for Jisadai #2. I think he's got the color pop going on. I think the campaign's got about a month left on it. So yeah, sequel to the first one.
I love the color pop. It inspired me to do my own. So
nice. I'm currently reading a book that is not yet available. I don't think Bat Sauce will mind if I speak about his upcoming work, The Dunce Whisperer, which is it's sort of like a fantasy world. If there was a character that was in IT in this fantasy world, and it's so far, I'm not too far into it, but I think it's basically, at least early on, a collection of experiences that you might have working IT in our reality, but presented through this fantasy lens. And it's pretty.
I found my Vita.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's a very underrated system.
Oh yeah.
I have been reading an orc book. I'm not going to review it until October because I got this big thing. I talked to AC about this. I'm going to do Orktober, where all my reviews and stuff are going to be as many orc books as possible, either starring them or very much centered around them. This is my friend Destin Munden. It's called Tavern, and it's about an orc named Zell and what he's going through. I'm still early in it, so I don't know what the conflict or anything is, but it's got this cozy element to it. He's very much about, in most stories, they want you to kind of like hit the ground running, with all the plot and everything. Like this has a cozy element to it where it's like you enter a scene and you just kind of like the equivalent of stopping, taking a deep breath and looking around, taking everything in, and then kind of going forward with it. To the wrong reader, it might feel like a little meandering, but I kind of appreciated the step back, the ability, just taking a breath before, going on with whatever the characters are doing in that particular chapter. And it's, I don't have much to say about it at the moment because, like I said, not too far into it. My next review that I got to work on before I go is Theft of Fire. This is a sci-fi book, first-person perspective by Devin Erickson. This came out like late last year. If you go look at the ratings it's got, it's insane. Like this really popped off, and it's easy to see why. Like this is a character masterclass. It's practically a submarine movie because it's two characters on a spaceship for the entire book, trying to accomplish his mission. I don't want to go into spoilers, but like they're complete opposites in every way. Marcus is a blue collar, hard-nosed software engineer / pirate / asteroid miner, and Miranda is like a doctor. She's a rich heiress. They are complete opposites in every way, opposing morals, opposing values, opposing worldviews. And these two characters are button heads, and every time you think that it's going to wind down a little bit, there's another little wrinkle to like everything that's going on. It's an amazing book. I won't lie. One of the best sci-fi books I've ever read. And that's going to be my next review dropping next week.
Nice.
Hopefully.
That seems like that would be hard to do as a writer, to have a book. And that looked like it had some chonkage to it. That's just two characters, more or less. That sounds tricky.
And the cool thing is, like, the way the story's told feels less like an author telling you what's going on and more like a buddy on your lunch break telling you about something and going into like the deep science details.
I like
to
that.
the side. Maybe more that there's a third character that comes along later, but that's in the spoiler territory that adds, again, more wrinkles. Maybe about the halfway book is mostly just them butting heads. And even when they get on the same page, what happens is like they're going to this mission they're going on this mission and they have to work together for it, but there's that head butting, and Marcus has to stop Miranda every now and then and kind of explain, hey, we're doing this way. And it goes into like the nitty gritty science. And a lot of the science is almost all very grounded, right? It feels kind of like Cowboy Bebop in a way. Oh, cool. Where, yes, there's fantastical science fiction stuff going on, but it feels like something that could have developed in the real world over time. And where like Star Wars will come up with some hand wave fantastical bullshit to explain something, or Star Trek may, pull in a bunch of techno-babble that sounds like, pseudo real science. Most of the science in this is based on like real actual science. You can tell that his dad worked at NASA. Like he knows what he's talking about. More than any science fiction book I've ever read, this book hammers home the horror of dying in the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
And the way he describes it as this terror that is just on the other side of a steel, a steel door, an airlock that is waiting to kill you. In other science fiction, it's like this big nothing. You go into it and you holler and you're gone forever. Here he's like, no, he delves into the horror of what it's actually like and does not shy away from it. It is, I have so much to say about this book, and I am going to in my review.
Well, I was just going to say, John, what I really love about you is how you won't just bring up an indie author. You'll start explaining their story. It's actually really awesome. That's how it's done right there. To be honest,
I mean, it's what I used to do with Star Wars and Marvel and all the other stuff I used to love before it got too shitty to bother talking about. Now, I've said this for a long time. The best thing, the thing that every author wants is a passionate fan. At the very least, I could take that energy I used to have for stuff that I enjoyed and apply it to indie authors. Why wouldn't I do that? Why can't I be someone's biggest fan? Of their work, or at least try to.
Yeah.
And I try to do that with comics, but admittedly, I don't know comics as well as I know prose books. Right. But I still enjoy reading comics. I've got a review of Yaira. I was rereading it today to kind of get a better sense of it. And I've got other indie comics that I need to read and review because I've been negligent in those reviews as of late, for which I apologize to anyone who was waiting on it.
No, it's all good. I just hope you include A Saga of Sunsets in your October list.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
I will send you an updated whatever.
I just hope you get to Echoes of Memory sometime.
I will, man. I'm
trying to crap about that.
I've only gotten to about half of these up here, and I want to read all of them, guys. I just don't have the. I can't read like the booktubers.
I know.
I would have to put so much else on the side in order to read at that level.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to take my time with it. I like to digest it. I like to know what's going on inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, there's guys that. Here's one. I bought this when I first started reading indie fantasy, and I haven't read it yet. We Break Immortals by Thomas Howard Riley, because it just
that's okay.
I love a good chunky book, but man, it takes a while to get into a book.
I have an interesting thought about that. After we find out what Michael Harris was reading, has been reading lately, and Trap City. What have you guys been reading lately? And then I have a thought about thick books, the thick ones.
You want to go first?
No, go ahead, Michael.
I just finished Eric Wagg's Citadel of the Seven Swords.
Nice.
That was a nice, fun, manly pulp fantasy.
Yeah.
And then another one I really enjoyed is a nonfiction book. It's called Return of the Dragon. And it was basically showing how, like, all throughout the world where there's psychedelic drug use, it's connected to snake cults that sacrifice humans.
Interesting.
Oh.
So
That's
that
fascinating.
was pretty interesting
I
read.
love that stuff. Yeah.
So they swapped lizards for snakes.
Yeah, no, basically it's like going through, like, say, America with the Serpent Mound. There was like evidence of human sacrifice there. And like the Aztecs had Quetzalcoatl, and they all used psychedelics.
And there's Far Eastern civilizations too, with this very snake-like dragons.
Yeah.
There's obviously like Christianity with the serpent, and it just keeps going. It keeps going.
All right. Listen, guys, before we get too too much farther, I do end up having to go. I've got to finish working on some videos for the rest of the night. But thank you, Royce, for having me on here. I know you can't hear me. Go fuck yourself. The rest of you guys, you're all awesome. Evolute Music. I hope you can end the show. I'm waiting for Royce.
I'm just gonna leave the studio and just let it ride on Royce's account for all night.
I might just leave my camera up and let it film whatever. That might be funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be whatever it is, and I'm not worried about it. When it's time to get out of here, we'll just get out of here.
I'll leave my gelatinous cube on the camera. So, who doesn't love the gelatinous cube? It's one of my favorite. One of my favorite D&D monsters.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. You can just have it takes up the whole hallway. You don't see it. It's translucent, and you just walk into it. There you go.
I'm gonna roll a dice before we get going, though. Let me try this one. It's hard to see this one, but it's got a little skull on the inside, which is kind of cool. Except it's really weighted badly. And
I was gonna say, yeah.
I got a 6. That sucks.
Yeah, it's not a crit even. Like neither way. Yeah.
All right, guys.
At least a crit fail's interesting.
It's been a lot of fun. I got to get going and take care of some stuff, but I'm gonna see you all later. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Always a pleasure.
Bye, John.
Cheers.
Where's my button at?
Adios.
Or
I should probably say that in Chinese.
Yeah,
For me, my little dude, he just spilled some hot water on himself, so that's why I was helping.
Is he all right? Like hot?
Yeah, he's got a little red welt, but he's all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
So,
my little one. I mean, he burnt his hand at one point too, so I know what that's like. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, this wasn't too bad. It's just some redness, but that was definitely like, oh, that sucks.
I thought we were going to have a little baby time earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My wife brought my wife brought my kid over too, and it was so funny. Why was he hiding behind my name right here? He was hiding behind my name right here on the camera. So does he know, right? Does he know like he's live on the internet? Like, like he sits down and immediately just starts doing this. I was
He
like,
probably sees it on the screen.
Yeah.
My little dude, he was pointing to himself on the screen.
Yeah. So adorable, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the thick book thing. It's funny that John said one of the first books he got, right? One of the first books he got was that thick, and he still hasn't read it. It's one of the first, right? A lot of people claim that they will only read tomes. I'm just going to refer to them as like tomes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Door stoppers.
Big chunkers.
Door stoppers. Yeah, that's an
all the
actual
above.
term. Yeah. So a lot of people will only read those. A lot of people similarly completely avoid them. A lot of people like myself, and I mean even John, as he showed, really wants to read them. Really wants to. And I think this leads me to my thought, like something I learned in the music industry. When you first start your band, if your daydream is like playing on stage, like successfully in some semblance of a way, that daydream is taking place like 3 years in the future, not like 3 months. A lot of them like to get the band together, practice a little bit, and then let's just start touring and playing shows, man, because that's what it's all about. That's the starving artist mantra, and what I suspect is a psyop, to be honest, because it's just so much more effective to do like kind of what authors do, and that's like online promotion, and then strategically and selectively showing up at those live events when it calls for it. So yeah, I digress. I mentioned that because it's a slow buildup, right? It's like a snowball effect. You start with something small, and you keep releasing, you become consistent, and you gain momentum until it leads up to that big thing, right? So in an author's case, I was thinking the other day, this is kind of why I wrote my entire novel and then last minute wrote a separate book and published that first. Because as a new author, I mean, yeah, you get people's attention with a chunker, but I think it's just, I don't know, the barrier entry is smaller if your book it has good time management in it in a way. And I don't mean like, you know, it could still be a chunker, but maybe it's a chunker of a bunch of short stories. Boom. That solves the problem. Actually, I actually thoroughly believe that's a great place for writers or new indie writers to start, is like a collection of short stories. Because what you're doing is you're showing somebody that you know how to start and end a story. You do it over and over again right here, and it's a bunch of different ideas. So it shows some strengths and weaknesses, right? I got to go kill a bug quick. I'll be right back.
Well, the thing that, especially with new authors, if I'm seeing a chunker, you know, a super thick tome, my first thought is they don't know how to edit. And there's plenty of wasted time in that read. And so I probably will not check it out. So I guess kind of going down the same path as AC, you know, if you're new, kind of start smaller, a little thinner, let people get to know your writing style and the fact that you know how to start and end a story, you know.
Right.
And short stories are a good way to practice that. You know, one of our short story writers, actually, I think he has published at this point like 9 different novels about Vlad the Impaler that are rather large, but he's obviously a very good writer because he writes 3-page in and out short stories for us, you know, and he's built up his audience over a period of a decade, you know, selling pretty much exclusively on Amazon. I don't think he's ever crowdfunded or anything like that. In fact, he has like basically no social media presence, but somehow was able to get people's attention by selling on Amazon, which I think is pretty impressive.
That is like how you know, like
I don't know.
Right.
I don't, you know, he has a blog. I think that's probably his biggest, you know, internet presence is he has a blog that he grew a bit, you know, over the past decade, but he is basically unseen on social media, at least as himself, you know, because he writes on sensitive topics, you know, the no things, and he works for, you know, the government, so he needs to write under a pseudonym. And yeah, he was writing for us for a while under his real name, and then the place where he works started looking into people's social media, and he's like, okay, I'm changing to a pseudonym. Hopefully they never find anything I wrote for you guys or my blog. But she still won't let me see because I'm a girl. So I'm like, ooh, how much naughty is in there?
Well, with editing, I mean, you guys all write. And is there any famous authors out there that fought against their editor's wishes? Because obviously, if you have a big chunker and it's got too much content, they want to cut, you know, trim the fat, so to speak, so that it's more digestible and faster moving or whatever it is. But if you're a writer and you're like, no, I don't care about that. Like,
Right.
I don't, even if people don't like it, I don't care. This detail about this character needs to be in here and it needs to be in the spot. Is that something that happens, or is there a lot more compromise? We're like, we'll figure out a way to make that gel.
From what I know, both is true. Like,
yeah.
Tolkien, he was pretty famously just like, screw you, editors.
He almost didn't need one. Almost. I mean, he has his criticisms for sure. Everybody needs one. But as far as do you need an editor or a babysitter, right? Because that's the question. Because as we go further into modern times, there's more and more rules, right? The more centralized it gets, they have these rules. And I mean, everybody is even assigned a little agent, which is like a side babysitter. You know, the big ones won't even speak to you unless you have an agent that's up to their qualifications, which means it's just a babysitter. It's an extra handler at the end of the day. So my whole point is, I think even I mean, if it's like not a if it's just like a side thing that's like fat, like you said, Evele, trim the fat, right? I think the fat is actually a lot more likely to stay. And what we see is actually them enforcing these rules for proper writing. You know,
The style guides.
like, yeah, for example, this is a weak example, but it is one of these rules. The white room syndrome. If you start a chapter or the book with dialogue, the reader doesn't know who's speaking. So it's a voice in a white room. It's just an amorphous voice in a white room. But the book, The Martian, starts with dialogue. He says, "I'm fucked," basically. That's how it starts. He just basically, like, I'm misquoting it. It's a much better opening, but it's dialogue. It's the main character.
I thought that was pretty good. It's
Yeah,
a good opening line.
But you don't know who's talking. It's technically white room syndrome, but yet there's a major publisher and a very famous zeitgeist example of them breaking the rule. But they will be so quick to just, you know, just because technically they have power over you or whatever, they'll just be like, you can't do that. And that's what I'm talking about. That's not fat per se, but maybe you had an idea in mind.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, for those of you that don't know, AC was in the music industry for over a decade.
Yeah.
So he was talking about music before and that kind of entry point and daydreaming, you know, down the road when you'll actually hit the stage and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did you run into that in the music business as well, where you had these, whether it be internal or external forces trying to, like, at a certain point, are you writing for yourself or are you writing for an audience? Or are you trying to, you know, and it's the same. There's a lot of similarities between writing music or writing stories in that sense.
Yep.
So did you come across that as well?
At the end of the day, it's both. Like, you want to write for yourself, and I think the most authentic musicians are writing for themselves. Like Michael Harris here, and even yourself, you're both musicians. I'm not sure if you're a musician, Christy, but
I'm not.
Okay.
I just make music. I'm not a musician.
Well, Royce was a musician too. So I mean, just a good example. But sorry, the baby got into some jewelry. What was your question, Justin?
I was just asking about, did you, in the music industry, was it the kind of thing where you writing in general, are you always writing for yourself? Do you get away from that? Is it
you got to write for yourself? Yeah, you got to write for yourself first.
Yeah.
And if you can do that in a way that also appeals to an audience, you got to be clever. So now, is that pandering, or is that just smart, or is that what is that? Right.
I mean, even if you're writing for yourself, you've always been part of an audience, right? So, and you're taking, so yeah, it's got to appeal to your niche of people who like the same types of things that you do, you know? So yeah, of course, write for yourself because you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be authentic and it should appeal to however large your niche is, I guess, and maybe beyond if you can reach those people.
You nailed it.
Right?
You nailed it. 'Cause it's like, you got to write what you love, right? We've heard that with everything. Do what you love, be what you love, write what you love, practice what you preach. What is the one that Gandhi said? You be, what did he say? I don't know. They all have a different
independence from Britain.
Well, Jesus has one too. Jesus has one too, where like everybody has these quotes where they're essentially just saying walk the walk. And yeah, that's the secret. Just be the change you want to see. That was the Gandhi quote. Be the change you want to see. And yeah, that's just it. If the music if you can hear something off with your own music, at least one other person will, and that's lowballing a lot because there's billions of people. So at least one other person will still hear that. And this is kind of a mindset that came from like food service as like a cook and stuff. If you can see like that the counter's still dirty, the dish is still dirty, that the food looks like crap, that the lettuce is a little brown, of course they can see it. And of course somebody else working with you, like your boss, will see that. So yeah, just all
back to the dishes.
Same thing. Yeah.
Back to your euphoria.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta get that.
Here's a
problem
scary
solving
question that I mean, you know, I've faced at some point. Not that I'm a massively accomplished musician or anything, but I have some, consistent listeners at this point. But I've been at it, since I was 13 or what have you. So it's been a while. So if you don't ever find an audience, do you stay the course because you're doing what you love, or do you try to start changing what you do, that sort of thing?
I would say yes for both.
That's another tricky one, man. What are you doing with these tricky ones? It's like, yeah, wouldn't it be dumb to continue doing that? But at the same time, it's beautiful, right?
Yeah, if it's what you want to do, it's, I guess, yeah. Are you writing for yourself because you enjoy making the thing, or is it, I understand for a lot of people, there's a balance between it is a business, but I guess that balance between art and business, and where's that line? If you're so passionate about it, I guess you leave it to the wayside. I don't know.
I think try both. Like, do one and see what the crowd's like, see if you can make it your own, and then do that. But also keep doing the ones you like that you don't care about if it gets attention or not. I would say that would be my advice is, study what other people like, find where you can make your own version of what other people like.
I personally chalk it up to just not having found your audience yet. There's a big audience for, unless you suck, right? Because there's those people too that do stay the course and they're just not very good. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm not saying that's
How dare you? How dare you? I feel attacked.
That's like that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying though? I personally am on the side of stay the course with what you're doing, because there's so freaking many people out there, and likely the only way you're trying to reach them is online, and then you're also in your own little community and groups and all that, and not reaching far beyond that. And there's plenty of listeners or viewers or readers or things like that you just have not reached yet. So I'm more of stay the course and do what you love. Don't change for anybody.
There are still people right now who have never heard of Game of Thrones or Star Wars.
Game of who? Star what?
Yep.
No, come on. Star Wars, though.
I think there is. I think there is still people, because there's billions of people on the planet. So, does everybody know about it? Maybe.
Yeah, they're like,
maybe. Yeah. Star Wars? But, yeah. Yeah,
well,
dude,
on that, trying to find your audience is obviously something that, this group, we have a lot of creators in here, and we have found some of our audience because we have people that come and check out our works and hang out and all that stuff and everything. In terms of marketing, AC, I know you're making the rounds. What has been your most effective way of finding said audience? Or is it just, buckshot, just do everything as much as you can and just keep it going? Or is there something you found no, this is the one thing that really anybody, whether you're starting off, your first book is a chonker, even though it's ill-advised from AC's perspective, or if you have a collection of short stories, whatever it is, what is the thing that you think is probably the most effective to finding that audience?
For me personally, it's just finding the person with the audience that you find the influencer that's going to talk about you as big of an audience as they possibly can. And we found that early on with a couple of different people, and why, we pretty much gained our audience quickly at the beginning. And it remains to be a challenge ever since, but that's what worked for us. The influencer thing is insanely valuable,
That's the modern mainstream media. Let's be honest. The mainstream media is no longer mainstream as much as it's labeled as such. That's just kind of the term that kind of insinuates that platforms like YouTube and X and others, maybe X to a lesser extent, but they still weight their advertisers, I'm sure. But I digress. Essentially, I think you're right. It is about finding your base, but it's also about at that point making a decision of if it's a hobby or a career. I think once you notice that, you would have to look at that, right, and decide if you're going to be an Emily Dickinson or an Edgar Allan Poe or a Lovecraft, or if you're going to be a Steven Spielberg, right? Will it happen in your lifetime, right? People have to have faith that their stuff will live on, and if it's up to snuff, it'll surpass the test of time. But at the same time, in this lifetime that you have now, I don't know if it depends what your goal is. Like if it's a hobby, keep doing what you're doing, like what you love. It'll only get better the more you do it, and the more consistent you are, you'll just leave behind that much bigger of a footprint in your own way. But there is an argument to be made, which is the argument that that Disney makes, and that's to be as impactful as possible, right? When they say it, it just comes off like they just want to what's the term? Because they don't say, yes, exactly. Because they don't say they don't want to have fans like it as much as possible. They want to say they want to have as much people get into it as possible, as if they're not already the biggest in the world. They somehow need just like everybody. It could just comes off like they have motives, but when we're talking small indies, it's a different story. You know, do you want to be powerful to spread a message of some kind? Do you have motives, or is it just to the love of it? And that's kind of what it comes down to, I think.
Can I interject a quick anecdote that I just think kind of applies
Yes.
to the situation?
That was my thought. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Just kind of like it kind of relates also to the editing thing and being true to yourself and blah 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 blah. So my brother-in-law works in the industry and is kind of a known name in the Hollywood industry, and has been very successful in it. And one day, because he knows who I am, I spent the night at my sister's house, and he pitched me this idea of a freaking awesome story of a time traveler that it was like gritty and kind of dirty. But he was his previous work was all kind of mainstream, developing for the largest audience ever, right? And stuff like that. But he really wanted to make the story of a time traveler that the way he time traveled was basically injecting things into his blood so he can time travel. But but his timelines get all confused and everything. So everybody in his life is like really confused, and he has all these track marks on his arm. So they're thinking he's on drugs, but he's really just time
he's not traveling anywhere. He's just it's all his head.
No, he really was.
Balls.
Well, maybe. Well, you know what?
Little of both.
Maybe that was the thing too. But because he has all these industry connections, and if we were able to really stand up for himself and his creative vision, he probably could have got it made.
Yeah.
But he kowtowed to everybody telling him, no, that'll never work. That's too this, that's too that. And when I was like, dude, I wish you would make this, because I would watch this show.
Yeah.
I would watch this show, and it's such like an AMC or HBO type of thing. But you're thinking network television or like, TBS and the other networks you've been on. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of was it was a disappointing to know that, he still needs to be who he is in the industry and not take those risks because he wants to still have his career, I guess.
It's pretty crazy. Weird? It's really crazy.
That's why I love indies, though.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It is totally freedom. Happy Freedom Day, America. One day later.
Freedom Month. This is American Pride Month.
Yes.
Just rename it that.
Yes. Pride Month.
American Month.
Yep.
Make what I need.
I have a little bit of a serious discussion. I have kind of a fun question for you all. Yeah. If you, let's say you make it big, you find your audience. Every time you flip on the camera or release something, you got thousands of people lined up. They want it. And now you got sponsors. They're calling you up and they say, hey, you're doing great things. We want to be a part of this. So if you get somebody that wants you to ad read or be a sponsor, who you hope is calling you with that offer?
Great question.
So somebody with the most money, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think like some kind of cool product. Like, oh, I would love it if I don't know if a Red Bull sponsored me already, or like some kind of
Erectile
delicious.
dysfunction pills.
Heck yeah.
Just so it'd be
Heck yeah.
funny to pitch on the show, or because there's money in it, a little of both.
A little both. Yeah.
I'm thinking. I don't know if you guys will know this one. You have to be a fan of Norm Macdonald, but Man Grate. I'd like to bring back the Man Grate.
I'm unfamiliar.
If you don't know that, anybody in the chat, if you don't know it,
sorry.
should
Man
go
Grate?
look up the Man Grate. Yeah, they sponsored Norm's show once, and he was reading it, and he was laughing through the description and basically making fun of the product, and it was absolutely hysterical. But
Nice.
so that'd be a fun joke one.
It's hard to
What-
say because I'm a fantasy
it?
author, so it's like, do I want like an endorsement from the Tolkien estate? No. Is that even worth anything anymore? No, I don't know.
Not really.
Do I want like an endorsement on A Saga of Sunsets from like the Minnesota Vikings? Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe.
They have like
Maybe.
the halftime, not halftime. What do they call it in football? Is it halftime?
Yeah.
Halftime
Show with orcs.
Yeah, they have the halftime show with orcs.
Yeah.
That actually sounds sweet. They need to sponsor you now.
That's what I would do. That's
hard to top, man. That's hard to top.
Just to.
I think you could get a lot of sales, like love him or hate him. I would like having Trump endorse my book, just because, like,
dude,
Chinese
half the
and
people
would be
would
it.
love
You'd
read
be
it,
rich.
half the people would hate read it.
Sherlock Hamster, I'm telling you, great little
Sherlock,
guy. Solving myself.
He's the best little private eye in the world.
The best.
Wonderful.
Such an industrious
So
hamster.
God, you guys got good ones.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I don't know if you can.
People
top
would be
the
like,
Minnesota Vikings and Trump.
he'd be like, Michael Harris, such a great author, all ages. He'll write mature content, childish content. He's from China, but still a good guy. Nobody's perfect. It's fine.
He's from China.
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 Oh man, I'm trying. Maybe like a sushi company would be cool, just to get free
Ooh.
sushi because I love sushi. You just like go out to the mailbox and you're like, yeah, sushi day.
You wouldn't
Dude,
want like
90
a,
degrees out, and it's
You gotta get Kikomon.
yeah, Kikomon sponsor. That'd be perfect.
Yes.
And
Or
it
like,
goes with sushi, man.
what about
That's-
Gibson guitars? Get like an Evely guitar.
I'm an ESP guy. I'm an
Okay.
ESP guy, but I wouldn't turn down Gibson if you're watching and you want to talk.
Yeah,
But,
I wouldn't turn you down.
I think-
yeah, I mean,
Oh, what's it?
This is-
Leon
you know-
Yoss would be cool.
Instead of a Les Paul, it's an Evely, right? Right.
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
In that sense,
I
I
would
guess
like getting sponsored by like a skateboard company.
that'd be
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
Wait, do you skate? Did I forget that about you?
I'm not good at it, but I do skate.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be cool getting like a nice longboard sponsorship or something like that. That'd be fun.
That would be cool. What about like an ultimate end goal for your project? So we talked about like dream sponsorships, and then AC, you kind of maybe already answered this a little bit, but if you could see your project in any format, so to speak, where would you want to see it?
Oh, I 100% would want like one of those top tier animation studios to just fully flesh out A Saga of Sunsets or like one of my short stories or something. I mean, the
No.
book would be cool, but that's like a full-fledged movie or like actually like a TV series, if I'm honest. Yeah, more like a TV series would be for the book, but yeah, one standalone thing for sure, like one of those top tier animation studios.
Now, would you want it to be like American style animation, or would you want to be going like anime?
I would be okay with either. It would depend on which one would be more able to capture the vision of, and the tone of the story. But like, I don't know. I guess the first one that came to mind is whoever did Attack on Titan, because they did really good on the action, and they had kind of a unique feel. I mean, a lot of people dog on the CGI, but I don't know if I would. My stories would be as dependent on the CGI, and to be frank, I could limit it to just like the magic only or something, so that it looks stylized. Instead of just like big 3D assets in the form of Titans marching through a painting, or whatever that people had the criticisms about. But I digress. They did a good job. Yeah.
Anytime anyone mentions Attack
Ooh,
on Titan,
no, Gendy Tartakovsky, the dude who did the dude who did
Primal.
I'm so
I
excited.
love how
I can't
you
even
went
think of
like
the name.
full ape on that.
No, the guy who did Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Did
would
you
want
see
him
his
to
show
do.
Primal?
Yes, it's one of my favorite shows
Mm.
ever, and I think that's why. Yes, I would 100% have him do my book, my epic book, 150,000 words TV series in the form of Primal, in the style of Primal. Let's go,
Nice.
Gendy Tartakovsky.
Anytime
That'd be
anybody
cool.
mentions
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, is the theme song also playing in anybody else's head?
Sometimes, yeah, a little bit.
Who did the theme song?
Action scenes just start blurring through my mind.
I used to know, and now I don't know anymore. It's a name, but it's not.
Is that like Maximum the Hormone, or?
I don't think it was them. That band's wild. But
Yeah.
while I'm
Like
pulling that
ska
up,
metal.
I don't even know what to call those guys. Their videos are something else too. So, where would you like to see yours, Michael Harris? Where's like the ultimate end goal for? And you have how many books have you written at this point? 70, 80, 90? You over 100
Yeah,
now?
you got to pick one first.
Yeah.
In this month alone, yeah, pick one first,
Yeah.
and then where would you like to
Well,
see that?
I did actually finish the first draft of a new book last month.
Of course you did. Of course.
Of course. Why not? Why not?
Anyway, yeah. Which one? Like, I think two that are most easily adaptable would be like the Sherlock Hamster series. It would be nice seeing it like be a nice, fun kids detective show, and like I don't know who I would have animate it, but like kind of like I just think it would be really cool seeing it as like a little animated show. And I think it would work really well in that format. Like I've actually seriously thought about pitching it to a couple companies like Daily Wire and a couple of ones like that.
If you ever consider comics, there you go. They're short enough.
And
Why not?
please send anything of yours to Daily Wire. They could use the help with the
Yeah.
writing front
Hell
with the show
yes,
they got
they
going
They
on.
definitely could.
Like, what's going on? How do you guys miss the target this
people
hard?
in the cool kids club over there are not cool at all.
I like how
Yeah.
it's just unanimous. We all are just like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, X is so bad too with their new show. It's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Yo.
Basically, they have Michael Knowles, who's good, and then that's about it.
He's really good though. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, the Attack on Titan theme. It was Taylor Swift is what I'm seeing here.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds right.
I can't
It's
find.
not-
I found with Sim, but that's season 3. That's definitely not Sim that does the light.
It's not Sandstorm by Darude.
So Christy, your property, your IP is a little bit different than some of the offerings here. What would be like the coolest place you'd want to see your magazine turn up?
Hey, so I'm gonna one up these dudes over here.
Nice.
talking about,
Do it.
talking about selling their shit. The reason we actually started Flip City was to start getting our properties out there in some kind of format, because we want to actually start our own production company where we can handle all of this. Yes, and find all the talent, and that is kind of my purpose right now, is like networking with indies and all that, and building up that kind of like friendship and like, hey, I like you, you like us, okay, cool, so that hopefully eventually in the future we can find the most talented people to bring under our own umbrella. So we'll do it, but we'll prove it first that we can do it, But yeah, so Flip City being a variety magazine, we are actually already publishing some of the stuff that we were intending to animate before we started publishing the magazine, and then realized animation. I'm sorry, I'm getting like mixed up in my own timeline. I shot up before this, and I'm all mixed up in my.
You're in a different timeline, yeah.
Time travel just in the future, and then the way past, and nobody believes you.
That is a cool concept.
Tuesday in the future.
It is
Dude,
great.
it's so relevant too. It's so relevant to modern times with the crisis with drugs. But go on with what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, the original idea because, you know, my husband and the creator and mad mind behind Flip City, his name is Scott, by the way. He hates when I call him my husband. He's like, that's so unprofessional, dear. Stop saying that. So yeah, Scott, we were going to start producing animation, putting it out online, but of course that's a lot of sweat equity. And then we came up with the idea of putting the properties out in shorter form through a comic satire magazine, with the long-term plan of then turning these properties into shorter animations, longer animations. And we've already kind of started that. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see some of the stuff that we've done, even though it's more in the rough. Like basically we're making it all public. Like the production of a full 15-minute animation, you know, in steps. So you might see part of it in the magazine, and then you'll see more of a motion design on our YouTube channel and stuff like that. So that is our long-term goal, is to basically become the entertainment publishing mogul. And yeah, it sounds crazy, but you know, that's the goal we're working towards.
It's not crazy. And you know, indies are, there's two things I've kind of noticed. Maybe I'm in the wrong maybe I'm on the wrong place of the map, on the world map or whatever, for whatever this game is, but audiobooks and animation, there's like a severe lacking of both. People are sticking to print, which is, it is what it is. It's fine, but like, I don't know, try everything, right? And the people who are willing to try everything, who have the audiobooks and are even delving into comics and stuff, they have no hope of doing animation. And that's just something I've noticed, because it's just not there. And if it is, it's extremely expensive. So
I keep getting back to, there was a show.
And when we're done with this, though, can we talk crap on Daily Wire?
Yes.
I honestly, I haven't listened to those guys in so long. I just see them pop up on Twix from time to time, and it's like, here's the thing, and I'm like, what is this? And I watch them like, and then just go about making my breakfast or whatever. I'm like, okay, they haven't come around yet, but
that's so true. Yeah. What is this?
I was gonna say, with the animation being as expensive as it is, I've seen a lot of stories, in particular comics, where there was a show, and I've mentioned on a few streams at this point. I think it's called Way of the House Husband. It's not a full-on anime. It's like a still shot with dialogue bubbles, but they actually, I don't even know if there are dialogue bubbles.
I want to check it out.
It's very similar to JVP's Ruthless, except there's not the narration of events. It's more like you see the events in real time and the people talk, but it's very limited in what's actually moving. It might be a mouth or maybe like those little animation lines or something, but to me, it seems like an attainable halfway step between. I'm sure it'd still be expensive. You got to get the music in there, the Foley, you got to get the voice acting and all that.
Is it that moving PNG art? Is that what you're talking about?
Where it's like,
be.
Yeah,
where it's like
very
slowly
simple.
Moving? Yeah.
Yes. Almost like a audio novel of sorts, I guess, whatever they're called. But there's a little
audio book for a comic.
Yeah, there's a term for it that is escaping me. But
yeah,
even
the fact that we
like
can't
a minute, you know, if that was the ad for the comic and it's just like a proof of concept, even 30 seconds, just to give the characters a voice and you get a visual of what they look like. Again, not cheap, but I think that there's, you know, probably some people out there that are looking to put the money up and maybe would go full animation, like you said, can get very expensive very fast. But stuff like that, I think it would be pretty cool.
Yes, and imagine like a series or movies. But that's all my thought.
And on that note, Justin, I'm wondering, both with Michael and AC, like, how many skills have you taught yourself to promote your own book, such as video editing or animation or things like that?
Just
got to do it all.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, I didn't know that when I became an author, it meant that I'm a video editor and a digital artist and all this, and actually an author last. Have fun, buddy. You know, like, okay.
There's something funny about you saying this as the picture of you. You're like, I'm having a great time. And meanwhile, everything behind you is on fire.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Let's see. What have I taught myself? I still need to get better at editing, but I've learned editing. I've learned a decent amount of formatting. Like my big chonker book, Echoes of Memory, I did everything myself. did the edit, did the cover, did did the formatting. So yeah.
Well, let
Thank
me
God.
let me ask you this, Michael. Now, to make your own job easier, being an indie, are you on the side of like totally rejecting AI, or would you ever use AI to make your own book cover? Or because I know
I have one
that's a
book
touchy
cover
subject.
that's I'm ambivalent towards AI. I think like if you can afford a Illustrator, go that way. If you can't, I'm not gonna fault you for using it. Like
Yeah.
like I do art, like I'm an artist. I teach art as like I'm a 4th grade teacher and also teach art at that school. And I think, art's expensive, it's hard to learn, and the artists are rightfully paid, need to get paid and paid well. But a lot of people just can't afford that, and
True.
books are a lot of sunken costs. So
Yep.
I think I'm not going to fault anybody who wants to use AI for their book. I have one cover I used a AI image as a base, and then had a dude, another indie guy who does a lot of retouching. I paid him to help me retouch it, and it looks like 100% different than the original. So I have one book cover that has an AI base image. So for me, I'm like, I kind of want to try both, see, just to experiment, because I know there's like a lot of AI purists, but I think they have loud voices, but most people don't care.
Yep.
So for me, I'm like, with the image side of it, I think I'm ambivalent. If you can't afford an artist, I'm not going to fault you for it. If you can't afford an artist, you should go that way.
Yep.
But
this is like
that's kind of my thoughts on it.
The hot topic of the day, and I don't know, it's one of those things. It is such a powerful tool, and it's sort of sloppy right now, but if you need just to get something out there quick, where even if you just turnaround time, like I gotta make a thumbnail, I don't have time to go hire an artist and do this and that to knock something out in 10 minutes or what have you. I don't know. I'm with you. If you can hire the actual people, go for it. But I think there's even some cases too where, if you just need something, well, I don't know. I'm not completely opposed to it. I understand the argument on both sides, but I also think that it is a bit inevitable on some level. And I don't know. I think if you have like a 80-20, artist versus maybe a little AI help, as long as it's not 100%. But then again, if somebody's doing that and they're doing their thing and they have an audience, I don't know.
Right. I understand. I understand the purists 100%. And but yeah, there's just and maybe there's even a case to be made that after you are so successful, right, where you're a force of nature, maybe you do have a civic duty to literally just have human staff, right? Like obliterate the AI at that point and have multiple artists that are even just doing one little step of a thumbnail, right? Who cares? Because you're employing people. That's a beautiful thing, actually.
Yeah.
So, but we need to keep that barrier of entry as cheap and small as possible, so that those who have an undying love for writing are still able to with free software.
Yeah.
I guess you could just pull up Paint, write your name, and then that's your book cover. You could do that.
Text-based. You can do text-based images for book covers.
Yes.
I think, like, if you are a purist, just go the text-based route.
KVP.
Hey, what's up? Hey, welcome, Mr. Ruthless himself.
The hell's going on? Royce is gone. Dan's missing. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, did you
just kick Royce out?
Royce?
I didn't do that. I don't know what happened.
Royce is like, hey, you guys can have my channel.
I don't know if he kicked himself out, but he can let himself back in. I don't think I did that. If I did that, I'm sorry, Royce.
And Kikoman makes a good point. Kikoman makes a really good point in the chat here. He says there's no stopping it. No stopping AI. Good luck to the rest. It's kind of what Justin was saying. It's true. Right here in StreamYard. We are in StreamYard right now. It offers to make AI thumbnails for you. It's integrated. The state government for years now has been having their job counselors teach people to use ChatGPT. It is integrated. It has been integrated. Even in Photoshop, what are the brush tools? very simple AI algorithms. The
Yeah.
filters, slightly
Yeah.
more advanced AI algorithms. Filters,
You're
facial
right.
recognition in Snapchat. It goes on and on. So purists better be willing to abandon all the technology they use.
It's tough too. Even like the furniture in your house. I don't know
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy
Right?
like handcrafted it, or I
Smart
assume a
couch.
machine just made it. I mean, we even
Smart
use
table.
a machine. Yeah, so it's one of those things. And there's some stuff out there too. Like I've seen some AI coming down the turnpike with some of the video editing software where you could just film yourself standing on the deck and be like, all right, can you like make the background futuristic city or something, do like some synth wave, and then change the lighting so I match to it and all that sort of stuff. And I don't even know, I guess there's artists out there, like you get a team, like somebody do the background and somebody do this and that, but if you can AI it and make something happen that couldn't exist elsewise, I don't know.
That's
Going back to furniture, I only buy my furniture from IKEA, so it's guaranteed that it's handmade.
Oh, that's gay. I'm leaving.
Hey, look who's back.
Well, no, I'm only back to say that I'm kind of leaving because we've got family and friends over, and this is not the weekend that I should have had a stream, and it's family and friends, and we're lighting off fireworks, and the kids are losing their mind in the front yard, and it's a fun time. And I just wanted everybody to know I've got the stream playing in the garage right now. So if it gets to a point where you're like, hey, Royce, end the stream, I'll run back upstairs and I will end the stream. But I am spending time with friends and family now. So
that's the most valuable thing.
I don't have the shutdown button either, so when it gets to that point,
and glad to know I'm
got
privileges.
But we got to go for like 5 hours. Make it the longest stream.
Yep, the longest
ever. Royce isn't here.
Yep,
I'm good.
I will have to re-up on my beer if we do that.
All right, well, guys. Like I said, I am listening to it, but like I said, we're spending time. We're lighting off fireworks. Kids are having a fun time. I'm Mayor. My hands may or may not be a little black from holding bottle rockets. You ever done that? You just light a bottle rocket and just hold it in your hand?
Yeah, I usually put it in my teeth though.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, I've done that before too. Yeah.
I
Didn't do that tonight.
We've had Roman. Have you ever had a Roman candle fight?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The last time I had a Roman candle fight, my wife yelled at me and told me that we weren't allowed to teach the children that.
Last time I had one was here in China. We put on motorcycle helmets and just had like 5 of us.
Is that
it was
really
like leather jackets and motorcycle helmets, and then we just went to the plaza and we're like, boom, boom.
Yeah, dude,
it was pretty great.
Yeah, dude, they're great.
I can't believe they had candles in Rome were like that. It's weird.
Dude, one time I was part of a firework crew back in the States, and like one of the embers fell into our box of giant fireworks. These are, the industrial kind.
Oh no.
And like half the box went off on the ground. It was like being in a war movie. It was pretty awesome. Kind of dangerous and kind of scary. Like I literally saw everything in slow motion, and I saw like one of the sparks flying past my face like a foot away, and then like 2 seconds later I was 30 feet away hiding under a tree, and then like a couple 20 seconds later, which felt like another 2 seconds, like everybody was like, is anybody dead? Nope. We all okay? Okay, let's finish.
I'm picturing the meme, back up Turi. Back up Turi. The guy's on like that little scooter and it's firing underneath of him and he's trying to back up and he can't get it. Maybe I'm the one. I thought for sure all you people on TikTok would have seen that at some point. Back up Turi.
That's here it's Douyin.
Have you ever mortar?
TikTok.
Have you ever just put a mortar on the street, not in the tube, and just lit it?
No, but I should.
That's
no, but I will tomorrow.
We did. We tied. We growing up, 4th of July was like one of our favorite holidays. We love blowing shit up, obviously. And I think we tied like 6 mortars together in the street, not in the tubes, and just lit the whole fucking block up.
Dude, one of the best but dumbest things we ever did, like me and my bros, like we did. Have you seen I forgot what they were called. They were like mammoth smoke bombs.
Ooh.
Like almost military grade smoke bomb.
That sounds awesome.
Fireworks. We decided we would light one off in the garage and then close all the doors and see how long we could last. But we also climbed up in the rafters of the garage to see how long we could last. So there was like me and 5 brothers, and we're dying of asphyxiation. Like one of them literally fell from the rafters to the ground, and he like crawled out to the door, and there was like this air vent. So I was just like, it was like tear gas. My eyes were like flowing, and I just crawled through the rafters trying not to fall off to the air vent, and then I just sucked the air vent like it was great.
I can't remember. We used to get some fireworks. Like there were some cool ones, but it was like a little tank, and you'd light it and go.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it would, like,
yeah.
shoot up. And we'd pit them against each other, so it was like, oh, whose
Those are
tank's
the
gonna
best.
win? We each have our tank, and we'd like draw on them or whatever, that kind of thing.
Did you guys ever get the parachute helicopter guys? First to be a
Yes.
helicopter to take them up in the air. And then okay.
No.
What?
Those are sick.
That sounds
Okay.
sick.
Awesome.
They are. They are.
Same house I grew up in. I think I was like 17. We lived on a dead end street by the turnpike, by a major highway. So we lived right next to the highway. We sent one of those up in the air, and the parachute caught on fire. So it went way up in the air. The parachute caught on fire. So there's this burning parachuting plastic man slowly just inching toward the highway, and we're just like, oh no, and cars are going, and this guy's getting closer to the cars.
Nice.
I love fire and explosions. What can I say?
Oh yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if there's any. I think it's like an American tradition.
It is, yeah.
The cracker bombs, like one time me and my brother, my oldest brother and one of the friends, we were just driving in my friend's Jeep and just lighting them off and tossing them on the street. And we drove by this bunch of kids. And they were like, it's a drive-by duck. That was
So I have to get going with the family. It's been a pleasure though. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, AC. Yeah, man, it's been good.
Adios.
If those listening could do me the honor of checking out my graphic novel campaign, it's a story about fatherhood and ambition, flying orc Vikings. There's even a dragon in there. Go check it out. Fundmycomic.com/ASOS. Fundmycomic/ASOS.
Check it
Appreciate
out.
you guys. Yeah,
See you,
you
man.
guys have a good
Bye,
night.
IC. Nice meeting you tonight.
Nice meeting you too. If you got Twitter, I'll follow you back, whatever.
I think I am following you. I'll
I
check.
think we're affiliated,
I'll
yeah.
poke you. I think we are already following each other.
We'll figure something out for sure. But yeah, you seem really cool, and I would love to stay for the bashing on Daily Wire, and actually
shit,
we were
that's
getting
still happening.
into some real shit too with that conversation earlier. So I was loving that. I was ready to go all in, but alas, family time. You guys understand?
All right.
Fun.
Thanks,
You
man.
guys
Take care.
Man.
Yeah, have
So-
a good night.
Chad is informing me that Royce is a Fed.
I know. I saw that.
That's what I'm seeing. That's shocking. I would
Royce
have
is a glowy?
Yeah.
YouTube still picked up that word, Justin.
I have
Even though you whispered it.
I have
Oh.
a confession to make. I don't know where we get glowy from. What's that come from?
It's just that it stands out like it's clear as day, like a glow stick at night.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh yeah, right there. That's them.
Okay.
That's
That
the
makes
Royces,
sense.
which I guess will be the term here. Royce is
What
a
do we-
Royce. Is that the code now?
Royce is a total glowy.
I'm trying to think of what we should
Trying
do
to
about
like gather
Royce
up all
being
the indies to destroy us.
I mean, the only solution that I see that's feasible is we have to hang him now. We got to hang him.
Thank you.
You can tar and
I
feather
love
him.
Royce. I'm kidding.
Tar and feather.
You know,
He's gonna come back. What the hell? I leave for 5 minutes. Spend time with my family. You guys are gonna tar
Molasses and down them. Slightly less painful than tar and feathering.
Yeah, medieval on Royce. Oh no.
I
Wait, so
was
wait, we're
tricked
ba-
one time into thinking down was made. I feel bad that I actually bought into this. I thought somebody had told me that a bunch of baby ducks were put into a pillowcase and shaken, and then they take the ducks out.
God.
And just send them on their
Yeah.
way out into the
Yeah.
world, cold and shivering.
I mean, ducks are nice. Can we do that with geese? Because geese are assholes.
They are assholes.
They are, yeah. They deserve that.
They pecked my
Geese
dog
don't
on the
taste that
nose.
good either.
They're all right. Put enough ketchup on them.
Geese is like super oily. At least the wild geese I've had.
Yeah, I think I only had goose once, and it was
Yeah.
fine. I think it was fried and had like a barbecue sauce
Yeah.
or something. So
You
fry
definitely
anything,
eat some
barbecue
weird
sauce is good.
stuff here in China.
I would imagine, at least from
Yeah.
my
Donkey pot stickers. That was an interesting one.
Ooh.
How is Donkey?
Sounds like a punk band.
It's like I've had Donkey like 2 or 3 times. One time it was really good. One time it sucked, and the other time it's like okay. It's hard to describe. It's kind of a little more oily, surprisingly tender. Yeah.
So kind of like duck.
You didn't say you didn't
Yeah,
take a bite of
kinda
the
like
donkey pot sticker and say, "Oh, this tastes like ass." And then have it.
I just when Justin
I
said that sounded
should've.
like a band. I just imagined some guy at a mic saying, "We are donkey pot stickers."
That would be like an indie, like a garage punk band.
This track's called Backside Hill Flip 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Can we are we past the point of cursing? Am I screwing up the stream? I threw out a couple so far.
I think Royce swears all the time. I
Yeah.
think it's like I don't know if there's a
It's a good Christian
rule on it.
channel.
Good
Yeah.
You
Are
gotta
we swearing a lot?
curse in other languages, not English.
What was the curse in Firefly? They always said Serenity.
Goram.
Oh, was it Goram?
No.
I was gonna say
No.
Go-Ra. I was like, that's close,
Was
but
it
not
not?
quite.
I think it was Freck. Was it Freck
No, Frack was
Fark.
the other one.
or is it Fark?
Frack was that with the Cylons?
Yeah. What's it called?
Frack.
Mm.
Battle
I feel like
Yeah,
it
I've
still
never
started
seen
with
that.
an F.
Why?
Yeah, Goram Shiny. That's an
Yeah.
oxymoron, I think. Actually, I guess it could be Goram Shiny, but yeah. There you go.
And it's weird watching that and then speaking Chinese now and being like, wow, your Chinese sucks so bad.
It's hard. It's like a whole different language.
Yeah.
You know-
It's like weird watching like movies and you're like where the foreigners trying to impress another guy and they're like, you speak Chinese? I'm like, no, they don't, not really.
That's like the old cooking shows that used to be on whenever you remember Cooking Network, whenever that was a thing. And the host would always break out the really thick accent when they're talking about the food, and it just sounded kind of obnoxious. Like, hello, welcome to the
we're
show.
gonna have
Today
some
we're going to be making some,
fettuccine.
spaghetti bolognese. So I hope you'll stick around. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, pick one.
No, time for
Jarring.
some carne asada.
Exactly.
What are we, Brendan Schwab? I'll say this: Jan Khan Cook did not fake it. Jan Khan Cook is legit.
Mm,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's old.
was a
I'm
good
showing my
show. I
age.
don't
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. What was his catchphrase? Do you remember?
Oh,
All I can think of in modern day is emotional damage and hiya.
Emotional
Hiya.
damage.
Yes.
That's the all-purpose word here in China. I love it so
Hiya?
much. Yeah, aya is just like, ah, crap, or like, oh man, or it's like basically whatever you want it to be.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
well-
aya is just like it's just an exclamation for whatever you want. So you drop something, aya, ayo. You know.
What is the word in Mandarin Chinese whenever instead of saying or whenever you're stalling? What do you use?
Nigga.
No, are you
Not-
serious?
Yeah.
I swear to
We're now
swear I did
banned.
not know that. I know in Japan it's ano. I did
Yeah,
not
ano.
know that.
There's like 2 or 3. There's a lot of people though they say it more like "neh," but
All right, we'll leave that right
Uh,
there. I had no idea.
there's also
Just let that
nama.
go.
So
Nama's
if
better.
I'm
Why did
saying
you
it
lead
on
with that?
stream-
Why did you lead with that one? That's much. We're worried about
Because it's
swearing
less
on the
funny.
channel, and there's like, you know what we say? I'll tell you. Oh
Yeah.
man. So you got your 4th of
you
July
do.
tradition.
Anyway.
Yeah, with your fireworks and stuff. Do you guys have any go-to 4th of July type movies? That's so surprising to me. Yeah, I'm like everybody for like Halloween. People have their go-tos. You know, the classics. They got their family. Maybe they got Hocus Pocus or something. Christmas, everybody's got their picks. I feel like 4th of July. There's a lot of movies that maybe they don't scream 4th of July, although they could, but they got that summer vibe going on.
Well, like Independence Day and The Patriot. Those are two
right.
good choices.
Patriot, I'd say.
Patriots good one.
Yeah, for me,
Team
like,
America. Team America. No.
America.
Yeah, I watched that last night. Durka,
There you go.
Durka.
I still have not seen Team America all the way through.
Oh, really? What happened? Why'd you turn it off?
I'm weird with movies, man. Sometimes I'll fall asleep. Like I tried to watch Team America like 25 years ago. I own it. I have the DVD over there, and I put it on, and I fell asleep. And it's been 25 years since I've given it a second shot. I don't know what to tell you.
Part of me was hoping it was going to be something like that just seemed, innocuous or inoffensive. Like, I'm a huge Matt Damon fan, and they crossed the line.
I don't even think it's 25 years old. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, as soon as it came out on DVD, I got it, and I just
getting close.
I'll play it. I'll watch it.
Nice.
I'll be a proper American.
So JVP, since you joined us in here, what else you got going on? You got I saw a pretty funny post, you and your bro.
Oh yeah. Well, that yeah, we're taking new promo pictures for Ruthless, but
yeah.
We got I guess I can make a somewhat impromptu announcement. I'm not really prepared, but
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
You guys are my people. No, it's all right. Me and my brother, Ghost Cat, the voice actor for Ruthless, we're gonna do a bi-weekly stream coming real soon, probably in the next month or two. We got some details coming out. We got the intro song done.
Awesome.
It's not going to be like a talking stream. It's going to be different. There's going to be structure. It's going to kind of be like a game show, and we're going to bring on different creators and kind of test their mettle in this hour and a half game show type stream. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
that's
sounds
my favorite kind of content.
Brilliant.
Is absolutely a show. I think more people need to be putting on shows.
Well, we're like, what can we do that's different? Because like we have to find ways to promote ourselves and get our names out there, right? I hate to say it, but the Iron Age as like all these creators, it might take a decade to build. So we've got to be prepared to be in this for the long game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, well, how can we do something different? And there's no stream, to my knowledge, that has a game show, like an old school game show type structure. And we're like, let's do it. Like let's bring it back. It'll be a little bit different. The first one or two might be a disaster, but I think it's a good enough idea where it'll work out. I'll tell you the name of it. It's going to be called Storytime Slaughterhouse. That's going to be the name of the stream.
Well, what as far as the game show goes, because you said you wanted to test people's knowledge, is it just general knowledge or on certain topics all the time, or what is your plan?
Well, it's not knowledge at all, actually. So
that's the slogan.
Yeah. Well, Storytime Slaughterhouse is basically what we're going to do is we're going to bring on different creators. I think the number we're shooting for is 3. We're going to bring on 3 different creators, and we're going to pick a modern day property just to hit the YouTube algorithm. So we're not going to spend a lot of time critiquing it because there's plenty of that crap online now. But what we're going to do real quick is maybe watch the trailer and break down the story to its most basic elements. So let's say, I know this isn't a modern day one, but let's say we picked Star Wars A New Hope, right? The first one. What's like, break it down to the most basic element. A farm boy gets thrust into an adventure to save the universe, right? So it's like, okay, that's where we start. Now, each contestant, we're going to start. I think the round 1's going to be character. Round 2 is going to be plot. And then round 3 is going to be writing a scene, probably just the opening scene. We're going to keep it really simple. And as we advance through the rounds, the viewers can vote who gets thrown off. And if you get thrown off the show, we basically kill you. Hypothetically, we'll create graphics and heavy death metal music to kill you off when we kick you off the show. Until there's only one remaining contestant, and that contestant will be the winner for the evening. So I think it's pretty fun.
I would only suggest that once you kill somebody off, there is a rule where the moderators cannot ban them from chat, so they can talk shit for the rest of the night.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. No, as much shit as
Yes.
possible.
We want it to be a
Is it-
disaster. So yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We want all the you got to be entertaining, right? And you got to create drama. Even if it's a fun show, you have to create drama. So absolutely, I wouldn't ban anybody. No way.
That's awesome. This sounds like a lot of fun. And when
Yeah.
did you say you're hoping to get the first one up and running?
Well, we started doing some work on it last month. Like I said, I got the intro done. We have the basic show structure out. It's going to be hosted by, again, myself and my brother, Joe, Ghost Cat. And we're going to kind of be the host, the co-host. And because it's a weird thing where creators are creating on the spot, which is difficult. Like creating under pressure is not easy, right? It takes people, it takes me 9 months to do one issue of Ruthless, which is 20 minutes, right? So we'll be there to facilitate and kind of push you along and see where we can get. And the idea is if we actually do come up with something good, we can just throw it out into the universe. Be like, okay, if somebody wants to pick this up and run with it, I mean, go ahead. Like, we're not claiming it, copyright, nothing. Like, we have our story. That's the rules. If you come into this, you do the show and that's it. And then if something actually good comes out of it and a creator watching is like, I could do something with that, they can pick it up and run with it. So it's really, the show is meant to bring on independent creators to test their mettle and sharpen their skills and sharpen our skills too. Because
and it sounds like a hot mess good time.
Yeah,
that sounds perfect.
I missed the first part of what you were saying. What's the show?
It's a stream we'll be doing. I think we're gonna do it bi-weekly, and I think we're gonna try and kick it off in 2 months. The thing is, we're like knee deep in Ruthless stuff right now, and I want to get the soundtrack done, the audio, and once that's done, my time will be freed up a bit, and then we can start doing it. But yeah, it's a stream called Storytime Slaughterhouse where we're gonna have 3 independent creators on, and we're gonna have 3 rounds, and we're gonna force them to create elements of a story on the spot, and whoever does the worst gets voted off for that round until one person's left, and whoever's the last one standing is the winner for the evening.
Nice.
So
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think being a storyteller is super underrated for being a creator. Like,
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Like
good.
How I tell people I became a writer is because I have 5 siblings, and I would tell like half of them bedtime stories every night. So, and doing that for like basically 10 years straight, you become a good writer after telling stories every night for like 10 years.
Yeah, at least for the creation aspect. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to writing, but yeah, for the most important aspect of writing, that's a good way to sharpen your skills.
I've heard other people had similar experiences where either that or growing up, they're just like, we don't have video games or anything else. What do we do? And they'd be like, all right, let's just start making up stories to entertain ourselves, and be like, that tree right there. What about that tree? Go. And then they just have to come up with a story on the spot about that tree, and just for a form of entertainment and all that.
Yeah. Like me and my brothers, we had a basketball hoop in our backyard. So we were like the Colorado Springs Silvercats, and it was the final, we were in the NBA finals, and, everything became a story when you're poor and can't watch TV.
Right. Yeah, your imagination gets going because, otherwise you get bored, and that's no fun. Yeah. And you start developing skills for that too. So, I mean, it's good for you.
Yeah. I kind of miss having limited access to stories. It kind of felt like they were better. I mean, I have 4 streaming services, and I can spend 2 hours scrolling and wasting my time and not find a damn thing to watch and be like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Isn't that amazing how that happens?
Yeah.
There needs to be a term for that.
Death scroll.
Is that what it's called? Death scroll?
Yeah, pretty much.
What's funny is that I remember back whenever I was a kid going to Blockbuster to rent a movie, and I kind of did the same thing there, where you'd walk and instead of movies scrolling by on the screen, you're walking and be like, which one do we pick? I don't know. And I felt like, I remember sometimes spending an hour even in Blockbuster. Ultimately, you pick something because you took the effort and time to go there, but it was similar back then, which I thought struck me that I was like, I guess it kind of is similar, but it's weird how you can have so much in front of you and still not be able to find something.
Yeah, we had West Coast Video down here in South Florida too. So we had Blockbuster, West Coast, and then we had a bunch of mom and pop shops. There was video rental places all over the place. And me and my brother were talking just last night about, we were like, I was 12, my brother was 8, and we were like on West Coast Video, and all of a sudden there's this section called anime, and we're like, what's this? Cartoons. All right, well, let's look at that's how we discovered anime, was West Coast Video. And my parents don't know better. They're like, oh, okay, they're gonna rent a cartoon, and we bring it home. Like, holy shit, is that a nipple? What's going on in this thing? They didn't even know.
Ninja Scrolls. I like ninjas. That'll be a good one.
Ninja Scrolls was the second anime we saw. That movie was rough. It's like a rape scene in that movie.
Yeah, it was. That was one I remember we rented. It was the same kind of thing. Like, it's cartoons. It's probably fine. I was watching. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not old enough to see this. This is gonna torment me. That bee lady. Oh man, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal stuff.
It's good anime though, and you're an adult to watch it. Holds up.
So speaking of brutal stuff, you said you're in the kind of in the home stretch here with Ruthless issue 3, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say home stretch as far as the soundtrack. The sound, when I say soundtrack, I'm talking music and voice acting. So most of the main voice acting is done. My brother's doing some retakes now. We just had a session last week where we reviewed we spent 3 hours reviewing everything and rewriting some parts and some scenes, because our product is weird because it's not a book. It's not animation. So I don't know, but it is cinematic in a way. So every scene has to matter because it's so short. And if we have a wasted scene, we'd lose people, right? I think that was the biggest problem with the first one. The second one, we definitely improved, if you've seen both of them. And this one it's good, man. This one's so good. And we have all the major characters are now introduced. The protagonist and antagonist are introduced, or the protagonist. You already know Ash, but the antagonist you haven't met yet, and we open with him, and he's fucking awesome. He's got a villain theme. I made sure to write a villain theme for him, and we have different iterations of it throughout the whole issue coming up. But yeah, as far as the audio, we've got a couple retakes. We have guest voices like Royce. I'll be sending it out to him soon, and all of our other guest voice actors. And I'm down to writing the solos for the last 2 scenes. So we're getting real close. For art, we switched up artists. We brought in Corey Barton, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he did Kozor with his brother Clayton. They're amazing. Good artists. Sean was great too, but the style of the Bartons is it's more American and more. If you've seen heavy metal, like the original heavy metal cartoon, it's like that. And like his sketches are coming through, and it's like so reminiscent of heavy metal. I'm like, okay, the style allows me to bring the whole thing darker, including the music. We've dropped it from E to standard D, so the music would be darker.
There you go.
The whole thing got a facelift front to back. And I really love how this whole thing flows. We have 2 huge reveals in it, but the way we do it, we create more questions than we answer as we reveal all this. So I'm very excited for this one to come out. We'll see how good it is.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't remember. Do you have like a full arc? Like, how many episodes are you planning on doing?
8.
Okay, so it's gonna be 8 finished story top to bottom. Okay, cool.
Finished story top to bottom. If there's not a big clamoring for it to come back, it's going to die there. If there's a big clamoring, we have 2 more runs in the tank. It takes it in kind of a crazier direction that works, that we're kind of already setting up for it in the first 8 issues. So we'll see. I'm fine if if this never really gets a lot of attention and it dies out at the last issue, which is 8. The way we ended is to me, it's good. It's impactful and ballsy, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. It's a crazy thing. Spending 8 months to create this, at this current pace, it's going to take us 6 years to get this out, which is a
Yeah.
pretty big commitment, right?
Yeah. It's a
of
lot
all your
of
free
work.
time. Yeah.
I just have a quick question of what a clamoring is.
Clamoring is like a noise on the internet. If 1,000 people are like, "Hey, I want more ruthless," I'm like, "Okay, they're getting more ruthless." But if it's crickets, it's like,
So
"Okay,
then,
ruthless
so
is
the
dying
number
here."
is 1,000.
Just an example. It's probably more than 1,000. It would have to
Okay.
be to a point where it's like, okay, this is getting enough attention where if we continue, it might get picked up for like an animated series. Like it'd have to be at that level for me because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, I totally get it because that's kind of a yardstick and a measuring point for a lot of indies is the clamoring. So I was curious as to what the clamoring is. So not necessarily having the deal done or people saying, "Hey, I want to put this on Cartoon Network or this or that," but it could potentially get there because you have enough support from the small people, from the regular people, right?
Yeah. And trying to think of how to put this. It's not so much about the size of the clamoring, it's more about the loyalty of it. Like, have you ever heard the term when it comes to politics, I forget exactly how it goes, but you don't need like 50% of the country to take over a government. You just need an enthusiastic 5%.
Yes.
That's what we're
yes.
looking. We're looking for our enthusiastic 5%, basically. And if we can hit that, then we'll continue.
That's what I'm looking for as an author.
I was gonna say, what do you got coming up in the pipe work here, Harris? You got some books you're working on and things like that. New releases coming out?
I'm hoping to release the second Sherlock Hamster book sometime in a couple months. I'm hitting up an artist. I'm hitting up the artist for the cover for the second one. And then let's see. I finished the first draft of a urban fantasy, which this one's kind of interesting because it's an urban fantasy story, but it's the main character is going against a UFO death cult. So,
that sounds like that'll be interesting.
What's that?
I said that sounds like it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's an urban fantasy, but with UFO death cults and Sasquatch and things like that. Nice, fun stuff.
And can you describe the aliens without spoiling the book? Are they like standard grays? Are they different? Like, how'd you do them? Or what do you think?
So the aliens don't play a big part in it. Like, it's more there's a cult that's like worshiping aliens, and the aliens are like, I don't know, like if you pay attention to like the paranormal scene, but like a lot of disclosure people are like, oh, these aliens have always been here, and they're like extra dimensional beings who've always been on Earth. So I'm kind of playing on that angle.
Nice.
So
you're taking the DMT, magical elves route.
Actually, yeah.
Those aliens
this
are
is
racist.
a slight spoiler, but like there's a scene where my MC gets drugged and the machine elves try and kill him in the DMT realm.
Nice.
So
hi everyone.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
I'm
Not
just looking
much.
forward to seeing how swollen Royce's eyes are every time he comes back on.
Oh yeah, no, I am wicked the fuck tired. That's why I was actually gonna say like might have to shut it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we're winding down. 2.5 hour mark.
I have to be up in 5.5 hours to start the smoker so we can start cooking pulled pork and ribs tomorrow.
Sounds good.
And yeah, we were hanging out, we were lighting off fireworks with the kids and everybody, and then all of us are just getting wound down. I literally have you guys in the garage and I'm listening to all you guys, and my buddy in the garage is like, how the fuck do you get into voice acting? Like, I don't know, dude. People ask. He's like, I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just, yeah. I'm like,
Oh, wait
and
till
so
he sees what
now,
you're voice
as
acting
soon as,
for.
so like, literally, as soon as we kill this stream, I'm gonna run downstairs and be like, and I'm gonna show him Ruthless 2, and I'm gonna ask him, all right, find my voice, because nobody's been able to do it yet.
I would have bet money you were a different person. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's that person. And then whenever it was revealed it was you, I was like, no, really? No.
Yeah.
Had me.
Yeah,
man.
That was.
I'm surprised nobody guessed it, but I I'm the one who got the files, and I heard it, so obviously I know who it is. But yeah, like I could kind of hear it, but nobody else guessed it. Dan couldn't guess it because Dan does my he does my editing.
Yeah.
So Dan hears it before anybody else.
Dude,
Like,
he didn't even guess it, which was hilarious. Like,
your character's got a bigger part. He's got a big part throughout the whole thing, man. Get ready.
Nice.
Man, it's gonna be. But yeah, hi wife. Hi wife's butt. Oh, she's gone. But yeah, no, it was a blast, and I know AC Pritchard. He was here for a little while ago. I know I did some voice work for him for a project. I don't think it's come out yet.
I think I'm gonna make some music for one of his projects.
Totally freaking different in that one. Yeah, voice work is really, really fun.
Yeah,
it
Voice
is.
work is very fun. Yep.
Oh, dude, it's a blast. Well, yeah, and when people ask you to do things, you're just like, wait, what? Okay, well, let me think about that for a second. The hedge was the worst. He was like, okay, so I want like Hayden Christensen mixed with Liam Neeson, and I was just like, okay, hold on, stop.
The best thing you could do for voice work is just like, okay, this is the character. Now, what do you like? You have to unleash people. You have to give people artistic freedom to get it done, right? So
Well, and that was like you. I was like, hey, what's the background of this character? And I think you came back with something like, he's from the South. And I'm like, oh, that's descriptive.
It was a little more than that, but it was light.
No, it wasn't much more than that. I just can't remember. It was like a half a sentence of, he's from this geographical location. And I was like, I don't, okay. Well, fuck it. I'm just gonna put a voice to this and hope to fuck he likes it.
It worked. Dude, you'll be happy to know I have 60 pages of character profiles, including yours, fully built out. You're gonna get a lot more this time.
Oh god,
we did a lot this time. So,
oh god. Well, so I really can't say anything. I've just been listening and enjoying the conversation when I've been able to catch it. Like I said, we've been lighting off fireworks and hanging out in the garage, and are probably going to proceed to get absolutely hammered. But that hasn't happened yet. But before I proceed to get absolutely hammered, Evely, dude, you held down the show absolutely fantastic.
No, it was all the co-hosts, man. I'm just following their lead.
Well, I anticipated being here longer, and then that didn't happen. I was like, no, I'll be here for a little while. And they're like, yeah, we're going to light fireworks. And I was like, oh, I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. Worked out all right.
So, well,
we'll just give you trouble. I'll just make fun of you in Chinese.
Oh, that yeah.
因为你就是一个男童。
Yeah,
你是美国
Okay, you're gonna send me the translation of that in the Discord, but guy,
I was just calling you a 90s gay.
Oh yeah, 90s, dude. 90s gay is way better than 2000s gay. Way better. Like, I mean,
that's
you wanted to hang out with the 90s gay. 2000s gay, you're like, stay away from me, stay away from my kids. I swear to fuck if I see you in my town. Like 2023, 2024 gay, not good. 90s gay, yeah, it's all right.
还可以。
Oh god.
但是你也是有一点坏，因为你
Oh god.
你
Fuck.
这是你的 stream， 但是你不在，就是这个人。
So true.
I'm so confused. So confused.
Anyway, just gotta give you some trouble.
Absolutely.
Evely.
What else? I could say a bunch of stuff like.
So who was here first, Evely? And who do we say goodbye to first?
I want to say Christy was here
Christy.
first.
That's right. I was here first.
There we go.
Christy,
I'm
what do you do?
Okay.
Where can we find you?
Well, first I gotta say thank you so much for having a stream tonight where I got to come on and say hello to you again because I think it's been months.
Yeah, it has been.
And I had, I think, almost too much of a good time last time I was here.
It was your fucking show. It was your interview. You were the one that was supposed to be talking. What do you mean? Well, I
think my
I
favorite
took up
thing-
all of my interview. I'm so sorry for taking up my interview that literally had my name in the title. I'm so sorry for talking about me when you guys asked me to talk about me as such a terrible. Sorry.
Did I say all that?
No,
Now-
but I did.
You say some
And
I'm
that's-
like
spicy shit,
awkward.
Christy.
You didn't say all that, but I'm going to tell everybody that's what you said.
All right, that works for me. But seriously, just check out flipcitymag.com. We have a free magazine to download. I'm so sad that we don't have our sampler ready because that's a better thing. But very soon we will. If you like the sample you download, consider coming and making a purchase. We are independent. We're not huge in the crowdfunding sphere because we were lucky enough to kind of independently publish in other ways. So yeah, download our free magazine. I think you'll laugh. And I don't even know if like JVP or Justin, who I don't personally know or anything, and it's been nice to meet you guys as well. I don't know if you guys have even seen any Flip City Mags, but I think you guys would like it. If you haven't, go do that as well. flipcitymag.com. Download the free magazine, and then I market to you like really limp-wristed. I'm like very gay in our marketing.
I'm a little bit
I hear
too far
books.
gone for you to be using
No,
words
we
like
suck.
that.
Like I'm terrible at our marketing. So get an email every once in a while saying, "Hey, you've downloaded this thing. Did you like it? Like, can you please buy it? Because like we're poor."
That's the greatest line. Help me not be a poor.
Yes.
Amen.
Like we think it's worth it. You know.
Right? It's worth it to you to be
It's
a
worth it
poor,
to-
to
it's
help
worth it
me
to
to not be a
America.
poor.
Merca, everybody.
America.
Oh, I gotta
America.
show you
Okay.
just this one thing. Every single one of our magazines has the American flag on it. You know, it's kind of our own virtue
That's-
signal.
All right, that's worth the fucking purchase.
But also, you know, I mean, fucking look at that shit. You guys,
That looks really good.
it's awesome. Like we love what we're doing, and our readers love what we're doing, and we just want you to be a reader so you can love what we're doing as well and laugh your ass off, right? At all the things, basically laugh your ass off at all the things that like piss you off normally, and then like redirect it into laughing your ass off. That's what we do. That's our purpose.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Michael
Oh, and
Harris.
it's perfect timing. I'm muting so I can talk to my daughter.
Oh shit. Okay. Michael Harris, what are you doing? Where can we find you, good sir?
You can find me out here in Northwest China. Like, if
I'm
you want to
not
come here,
flying there. I'm not. No.
you can
mean-
find me like maybe hanging out with some Yetis and stuff. Some Yerin.
Wait, they
No,
have Yetis? Never mind.
Well, Yetis are kind of Tibet, and I'm in classical Amdo Tibet, so yeah. But if you go a little bit east of me, you'll find the Yerin and the Yuanren, which are like the more central China Yeti Sasquatch thing. Anyway, enough about Yetis.
If I had a nickel,
You'd have like 7.
I think so. Maybe 8.
Yeah.
I might have 5.
Yeah. So I'm here in China, writing books. It's summer break, so I have more free time, which is going mostly to helping the baby at home, who's not quite a baby anymore. He's
Yeah. Getting big
like,
now.
yeah, dude, he's a mega chunker.
Oh, yeah.
He's only 1 and 2 months, but he's already like 30 pounds.
Jeez.
And he's as big as a couple 3-year-olds. So he's basically like, he's a 1-year-old in a 3-year-old's body.
Jeez.
That's
I was gonna say, yeah, that's right. We met you just after you had him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was nice
Congrats,
and
dude.
compact then. Now he's not.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But yeah, I have a bunch of books on my Amazon. I shared that in the private chat, so
Yep, and I have that out in the chat
link it.
right now.
Nice. Yep, right there. So you can find my books there. My most recent one is An Unexpected Adventure. It's about a kid named Asa who loses his memories after he gets picked up by a storm and thrown halfway across the continent. And he has to find his way through strange lands like the rolling hills, which are hills that move around and play tricks on people. And he has to fight off Shark Huffalo and things like that to get home and remember who he is. Yeah. And I'm working on, just finished the first draft of that UFO Death Cult urban fantasy book, and working on another short story with the same character, hoping to send it to maybe like Anvil or something like that.
That's cool.
And yeah, besides that, yeah, just busy making stuff and hopefully getting a online job so I can make more money so I won't be poor. Also, buy my book so I won't be poor. Buy all my books. There's a lot of them.
No, you do have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I'm sorry that I couldn't hang out tonight, but I was expecting half of the festivities that were here, and then they showed up. So, JVP,
all I
good
have
sir.
to say is Justin is a wonderful host.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. You guys are like, oh, Royce isn't here.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
guys
what
were
the
on my
fuck?
garage TV, and I was watching and listening to everything being said. And at a moment's notice, if something was said that I was just like, oh shit, I would have run up here and cut off the stream. But it wasn't, because Justin's awesome,
So
and he handled
Royce,
the fucking stream
that
fine.
is basically
Thank
what
you.
you're
Very kind of
saying.
you.
You're
Thank
watching
you.
the whole time.
I was watching the entire time.
Everything's
Outside of
been
the
a
times
test.
that I was lighting bottle rockets off in my hand. There was like 5 minutes in there that I missed. And my hand might still burn a little bit because I held on a little too tight. I forgot how light you have to hold those things. JVP!
Yes.
What are you doing? Where can we find you, good sir?
I'm real quick. I'll make this quick. But point one, there is an epic battle in chat between Seabats and Kikomon. I just need to call out 1, 2. I just want to give a shout. He just hopped in, but Missouri Breaks. I believe it was Jared, right? Yeah,
Jared Christman, dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations, dude, man. That's a lot of work. You got it out. Awesome to see that. And even if it's small theaters and you had some people there giving you feedback, that must be pretty good, man. So congratulations. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube, JVP Music. I am the creator of Ruthless, a heavy metal audio comic, which is a 20-minute YouTube video where it's not animated, but we have images and we add, some effects and shit like that. We're getting better at that. We do a completely original soundtrack to voice acting and narration. That's what we do. Issue 3 is going to be out. I'm guessing maybe October. I think a Halloween release would be a good idea this year. So we're shooting for October.
Cool.
Yeah.
Royce, I think you missed the stream announcement. Me and my brother Ghost Cat will be doing a stream coming up very soon called Storytime Slaughterhouse.
I did see that. Remember when I said that I was listening the whole time?
I don't know. I don't know if you listen. Do you really listen? You're with family. Are you really listening to every word?
Yes, I have my garage TV very, very loud right now, and I am
Should I
absolutely
say-
neurotic. Like,
Shut up.
Should I
It's
say
100%
Chinese
neurotic.
more?
There's like, hey, why aren't you paying attention to us? And I'm like,
He
So
was,
they're talking
he was
about
making
some-
sure I don't say in Chinese a lot.
Yeah. Outside of that, I have one little project that I don't know when it's coming out, but I did an intro song for an animated series that's really cool. I think you guys would like it. I think Royce, I DM'd you about voice acting for it, and you couldn't take it, but couldn't take it on with all your shit that you're doing. But that'll be coming out soon, and I'm doing a very cool song with Chill Kid, which he just wrote.
Nice.
He just sent me some redone lyrics. So
Nice.
the song's done. I
great.
just need him to do the singing, and we'll get that out. But that's
Awesome.
what I'm working on now.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Nice.
Very cool.
that's awesome.
If you need some screams for a song, you should hit up AC Pritchard, but I can do it too. Actually,
AC's
Justin.
AC's do. Justin did screams for me. They're already mixed in. My brother's a former heavy metal frontman, and I'm waiting on AC's. I get everybody. I pull everybody into my shit. So
I can kind of
if you
scream.
don't,
I will say.
if you don't want me busting your balls in DMs, just don't talk to me.
I need to clear up more time so I can do the more voice acting stuff because I really love it, but and then I may or may not be starting another channel.
A
soon.
fun voice acting thing is like speaking Chinese in different accents, like pretending to be Irish and speaking Chinese, doing stuff like that's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Evelyn Music. What do you do?
Anyway.
Where can we find you?
Obviously here Friday nights, and then Tuesday I am on the Iron Seas with AC Pritchard as well as Mr. Bat Sauce and the Ultimate Kahuna. Each week we pick a movie. Well, we each pick a movie, put a poll out, you vote on it, we decide what to watch, and then we have a little chit chat about the movie, and then just talk about some storytelling topics as well, or what's going on. Of course, my music, you can find it on any streaming platform. I don't want to say that it's life-changing or the greatest music you've ever heard in your life, but it's both
It
of
is.
those
It
things.
really is.
It's
You guys,
just,
he's trying
high
to
really,
quality.
you thought you
High
lived,
quality.
but
It's amazing.
I'm going with
It'll
that.
put hair on your chest.
Yeah. So
Iron Seas is very entertaining. I recommend
All right,
checking it out
thank
if you
you.
haven't.
But put hair
I'm
on
still,
your
I'm
son's
still
chest and-
I'm still kind of bitter about Bat Sauce's take with what's it called, Titan AE.
Oh, no, it's part of the fun. That's where
Oh,
it's
God.
storytelling.
He's wrong.
Writing and
It's a great
fighting. That's
movie.
our
I love it.
slogan. We got to have the fighting. If we just all agree, it's no fun. So that's going on. And then I forget there was something else I was going to mention. Now it's slipping my mind. So I'll leave it at that.
Awesome.
Just to let you know,
Well-
Justin, Evelyn music is kind of like Kill Switch. If you dig Kill Switch, engage.
Oh, thank you.
You'll like
Appreciate
his
that. I
music.
need
That's
like,
it.
other than saying it's amazing and you have to listen to it, I need like references that people might actually know. Describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
maybe
would not
Bill
insult,
Murray.
I would
not
not
as many
insult
people
Ava
know
to
that,
say it's
but-
metalcore. I think Ava's music is better than metalcore.
Well, that's
I
kind
don't
of you.
like
I
metalcore.
appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into Iron Age Nights. I also tuned into Iron Age Nights this week. Like, this is the first time I've actually tuned into my own show because we were lighting fireworks and the kids were losing their crap. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. And you know what? I'm going to play a different outro, but an outro that you've seen before because it sounds awesome. And if you guys want to talk over it, go for it. Unmute your mics. But guys, thank you so much. Oh, by the way, no Sunday coffee this week because I have company, and that's legitimately the thing. So, but it'll happen next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all next week in the videos and the live streams. Have a good one.
What's up, fellas?
Royce!
Sir, how are you, man?
Well,
I
I
was
was
so proud
fantastic,
of putting
and
this
now
video
I'm
together.
more
Where's Dan's
fantastic.
beer?
So how does that work?
And
I know.
I'm coming off.
What happened?
They said, "Can we
I dropped the
hang
wall.
a trailer hitch set of brass balls?"
Some
and
truck nuts.
watch-
That's
Yeah.
right. Plainly Pardo with the brass balls.
Important questions.
Oh, thank you all
Do the
so
mechs
much.
have enough
Maji,
mobility
Chan,
to
Seabats,
perform a
Bad
tea
Sauce.
bag
Good night,
on
everybody.
downed enemies?
Good
I will
night,
say
Mrs.
yes.
Stephanie Wilson. Hey,
I'm not
tell
good.
King Richard. we
Not
say
yet,
hello.
you're not. Ladies and gentlemen, I would
Queen of
like
the
to
Island.
I don't know why in
introduce
every one
Mr.
of
Daniel
these
P.
clips,
Riley
Daniel
from
looks like a woman.
2025. He has an interesting story to tell you.
Thank you.
Mr. 2020.
Like,
Ow.
blue balls in the
There
chat
we
room.
go.
Just throw it in there.
Okay.
So anytime you see blue balls, they're probably with me.
Oh my goodness, man. There you go.
There you go.
You sons of bitches!
All right, let's see the back.
Oh god, the wig was so long.
No.
I didn't come out and be like, hey, she's got some Tego bitties. How'd you guys do? Oh, wait. Anyway. And so I took the book. I'm like, yeah, Eric said the book was good. Look at that. Look at how tightly you can roll it up.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
You are in the inaugural episode of Iron Age Knights.
I noticed this is number one, the official
This
number
is
one.
Yeah, this is the official number one.
Yeah.
Now, should it be knights like nighttime or knights as in knights with armor?
Dude, who are you asking?
I know,
Dude,
I'm aware.
What do you think
I'm
about
aware. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here on Iron Age Nights, and we will see you all next time.